Baseball, certainly a game and a matchup that Bobby knows well. Mets hosting the Yankees. John Miller, Joe Morgan at the Big Shea.
Now, from Shea Stadium in New York, it's the Yankees and the Mets in the finale of the Subway Series. This week on Sunday Night Baseball, it's the battle of the big city. The powerful Yankees ease their way to a shutout win in the series opener and have come back from a 5-week slump to win 7 of 8. Still, the spotlight is on manager Joe Torre, and tonight Joe Morgan visits with the Yankee skipper.
We're a better club. We're a much different club, I think, this year offensively.
After a dismal start, the Mets have been sparked by an infusion of young talent. Now, all eyes are focused on their 20-year-old phenom, Jose Reyes, who drove in 11 runs in his first 9 games. On the mound, it's a battle of great veterans. The Mets left-hander Tom Glavine and the Yankees left-hander David Wells, who has walked just 4 all year. We'll catch their craftsmanship with Sunday Night Baseball's exclusive K-Zone technology.
It's all coming up on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Have already taken the field. Derek Jeter at short, then Jason Giambi at first. Raul Mondesi hitting cleanup in right field. Hideki Matsui in center. Todd Zeile, who had a home run wiped out yesterday because of the rain, at third base. Bubba Trammell in left. John Flaherty giving Jorge Posada a breather. And David Wells, the pitcher, is batting ninth. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and welcome to Sunday Night Baseball. Now, we're in the big city, Joe, the Big Apple. We get the licks. Well, I do.
Good offense. And there you see his record. And again, part of that, he missed the start a couple of weeks ago. For the first time he had missed the start, his regular scheduled start for quite some time. But he says he's okay. It usually starts to tighten up a little bit in the 5th or 6th inning. There are his pitches: a 4-seam fastball, that's the riding fastball, 2-seam the sinker, and a curveball and a changeup. He will use mostly changeups and fastballs to keep these hitters off balance.
So here we go. Mets fans and Yankee fans all in the same ballpark. Next weekend they'll do it again in Yankee Stadium. Here is Alfonso Soriano, 19 homers, second in the American League in that category, leading it off against Glavine. First ball swinging, that's not unusual. And Burnett makes the grab. There is one away.
And that's the point. He's going to throw in off the plate. If they swing at it, they're going to help him out. And let's take a look at the defense behind him. Wilson behind the plate has a very good throwing arm. Phillips is just a few games at first base. Roberto Alomar, one of the better defensive second basemen ever. Reyes at shortstop, excellent defensively. Wigington at third is just average. Floyd's got bad legs, so he's not running well. Shinjo, very, very good outfielder. And Burnett's in right has a good arm. Not a bad defense, not exceptional, but, you know, pretty average.
Here's Derek Jeter now. Jeter, who missed 36 games right at the beginning of the year. The shoulder separation. He goes after the first pitch and is thrown out by Roberto Alomar. 2 pitches and 2 men gone.
Well, that's the way the Yankees are, and that's why I say I wanted to see this, because I think Glavine can work things in his favor by just throwing pitches that are close enough that they can reach them, but not able to do much with them. And both of those pitches were sinkers away.
Now, Jason Giambi against Glavine. And Giambi not quite as likely to be hacking at that first pitch if he doesn't like it. Giambi, who got off to a very slow start this year. He's been coming on lately. Up to 250 for the year, 19 homers, 52 driven in. And he takes ball 1. That's the first pitch that's been thrown tonight that hasn't been swung at and put in play.
Well, the leadoff hitter, you know, Alfonso Soriano and Jeter, they are free swingers, and they will swing.
You see the shift on for Giambi. There is nobody playing third base. The third baseman, Wigington, is over to shortstop. The shortstop, Reyes, is behind second. And then Alomar a little further over, so they're bunching up on the right side. Giambi just got a piece of that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Giambi, you know, the reason that he's swinging the bat so well is he's over the eye problems he had early in the year. And I saw him a couple of weeks ago in Seattle, and he said he was starting to swing the bat really well, seeing the ball well, and you can see what he's done the last 27 games. So he is swinging a hot bat.
There is Reyes, the young shortstop, playing second base at the moment. And it's a 6-pitch inning for Tom Glavine. The Yankees go down in order. And Reyes, the 20-year-old phenom, about to lead off for the Mets.
Autograph Baseball.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball from New York, from Shea Stadium. No score. The Yankees going down very quickly against Tom Glavine. Let's take a look now at the Nextel Mets batting order against David Wells. Jose Reyes at shortstop, the switch hitting phenom. Roberto Alomar, another switch hitter at second. Ty Wigginton, the young third baseman. Clifford Floyd, he's the powerful Mets hitter. And in the absence of Mike Piazza, he's one of the few that they've got in there. He's in left field. Jason Phillips, the rookie at first base. Jeremy Burnett, who's come back with a hot hand since returning from the DL. He's in right. Vance Wilson catching. Tsuyoshi Shinjo at center, and Glavine hitting ninth, all against the veteran David Wells.
Well, David Wells will throw strikes. That's what he's been doing so well this year. And he throws strikes with all of his pitches. Fastball, curveball, and a change. And he will use the curveball a lot more effectively than Glavine does.
Ball right there in the outside corner at the knees. And it is 0-1. Now Reyes is only 20 years old, but already in his career he has a grand slam. It came in his 4th big league game. He got that high fastball and he erected a base hit to left field. And let's take a look at that pitch now from K-Zone, presented by Carfax.
Well, this tells you that he can handle a high fastball from the right side. But, you know, that's kind of the way hitters are. Right, if they're switch hitters, they're better high ball hitters from the right side, better low ball hitters from the left side. That's a real high fastball, and he gets on top of it.
So Reyes is aboard. Reyes, who has 1 steal so far in his big league career. Roberto Alomar, the hitter. And it is 0-1. Now, I've got to, if I'm Art Howe, I'm trying to help Art out a little bit here. I got to put Reyes in motion because Roberto Alomar's having a terrible time. As a right-handed hitter, he's hitting only 174. And there's Art Howe.
Well, Wells does not have a great move to first base. He just picked him up. Upgrade that to a better move.
No, actually,
that was not that good a move. He just was fooled. I think he was going on the pitch.
Okay, I have to second guess myself now.
Yeah, I do too, John.
What kind of advice was I giving Art there?
Yeah, but I mean, that was not a good move. I mean, he was leaning that way all the time.
So 1 out, nobody on, and Alomar swings and misses at the fastball to the inside.
Watch him. I mean, he's leaning that way. I mean, that's not, all his weight is still going that way. It's not going forward. And he is out easily.
Back to David Wells, and Roberto Alomar is out easily. 2 men gone just like that. Well, now for a 20-year-old guy, is there something there for him to have learned?
Well, you know what they do, what a lot of teams teach in the minor leagues, is you go on the guy's first move. But he wasn't doing that because he would have been halfway to second base. You go on his first move. When he breaks his hand or he starts his leg lift, you take off. But that wasn't the case because he didn't move.
Here's Wigginton. Curveball. A big hook you're talking about. That's a strike. It is 0-1.
He was just trying to read him, and he did not do a good job.
And that fastball peeled foul off to the right. 0-2 to Wigginton. Wigginton hitting 271, 5 homers, 34 runs batted in for Wigginton. Clifford Floyd on deck. He would be next. Field, I'm sure the outfield especially should be very wet. For all the rain we had yesterday and today. Bloop off the fists, but nobody can get to it. Giambi over to pick it up. Still 0-2.
This is one of those days where you wear your warm-up shoes. You don't wear your game shoes in the wet conditions like this. You don't want to ruin them if you're an outfielder.
By the way, for David Wells, that's his 2nd pickoff this year. And Bubba Trammell.
Well, it tells you, as I said, he doesn't have a great move. He just catches the guy sleeping.
0-2 the count. Oh, a little cutter in under the hand. Strike 3. No score after 1. Now, coming up, our poll question. Who is baseball's best manager? We'll have our poll question and put it to you when we come back. No score after 1 inning. Tom Glavine to Raul Mondesi. And that's a called strike right there. Outside corner at the knees. And it is 0-1. Now, Mondesi, a longtime National Leaguer. And he and Glavine, they've faced off many, many times over the years. Oh, the changeup. 0-2.
One of the things that, you know, the Yankees are happy with is Mondesi's play. I mean, he's stolen some bases. He played well in right field. He's struggling a little bit now hitting-wise, but he's really swung the bat well. He's done a great job for him.
Fastball misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Mondesi, they like just how hard he plays every day.
And everything that he's doing so far.
The changeup. That got Wilson in the hand. And I thought the catchers always hit that hand back behind their hip.
Well, they normally put their hand behind their hip and catch with one hand with no one on base. But you can see he's got his fist balled up there and it gets him right on the fist. You don't want to have your fingers out there, of course, because you break them. But what he did, you don't tighten your fist. You just have it kind of limp. So if you do take a blow off of it, it won't hurt. So he's got it relaxed. And I'm like you, I don't know why it's out front there.
Have Johnny Bench give him a call, will you?
Well,
no swing.
I remember watching Johnny Bench with no one on base. You sit with one hand. Put your other hand behind your back even, or behind your leg. Very close there as Mondesi started and then checked his swing.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Mondesi. Matsui on deck. And a pop-up. Roberto Alomar. Out number 1. So Mondesi is gone.
Watch this, John. This is interesting. This last pitch. Now watch where he had his hand, meaning Vance Wilson. Look, he puts it behind it. That's where it should have been the pitch before. He put it behind the glove. But when you're not having any runners on base, you're not going to have to throw right away. You should always make sure you protect your hand.
All right, here is Hideki Matsui. And the changeup for a strike. Now Matsui, for the Yankees, hitting .283, 6 homers, 23 doubles, and 46 runs batted in.
And he's been really swinging the bat well lately, John. He was struggling, and on the last road trip, he was still struggling. He came on. He's been swinging the bat well since. And Joe Torre says, I mean, he gets quality at bats. He doesn't chase a lot of pitches. He knows how to hit. He's not the slugger, I guess they thought he was going to be, but he's a good hitter.
Hit 50 home runs for the Yomiuri Giants last year.
But they also said he wasn't a good outfielder, and he is a good outfielder.
With Bernie Williams out, they've had Matsui playing in center field.
Right, and he must be a pretty good outfielder.
2-2. Matsui, for the first time, facing Tom Glavine. Struck him out with a changeup. Number 2. Let's take a look now at our Nextel poll question. Who is the best manager in the game? We've offered some choices there. Guys who have been around for a few years and also are managing contending teams right now. Joe Torre, Dusty Baker, Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox, Felipe Alou, Frank Robinson.
Well, the only one on the list I played for was Frank Robinson.
So you're voting for Frank?
I'm not voting. Yeah, my computer broke this week.
Oh. Todd Zeile.
There's Joe. He's, of course, won the most championships of any of those guys on that list.
Well, you can log on to ESPN.com to cast your vote, or you can also use your Nextel phone to cast a vote. Todd Zeile, the hitter. Now, sometimes when you're going bad, things are just, everything goes bad. He's 0 for his last 20. And then yesterday he had 2 hits, including a home run. And then the game got rained out in the 4th inning, so none of it counted.
That's what you call bad. That is bad luck. You break out of your slump, and you wake up the next morning, you're back in again.
2-1 the count to Zeile. A one-time Met. That's off the outside. Played in the World Series with the Mets 3 years ago. I read in the paper a quote. Joe Torre came out of his office into the clubhouse, walked over to Zeile, says, "I've got some bad news for you, Todd. You're still in your slump." Again, changed up on it. 3-2.
You see, Glavine never gives in to a guy that he thinks can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And he doesn't have to, because he has such good control of the changeup. It starts in the strike zone and then moves out. And the hitter being aggressive on the 3-1 count will chase that pitch a lot.
3-2 the count. And he walks him on the changeup. So, just as you say, Joe, he will not give in.
No, I mean, and there's no reason to. I mean, if you get behind a guy like that, you try to throw him the changeup. If you can throw it for a strike, you figure you're going to get him out. But you do not want to throw a fastball to a guy that's sitting dead red on a 3-1 count.
Well, and Glavine has been taken deep a few times by Zeile over the years. Zeile had 82 career at-bats against Tom Glavine. That's how long they've both been around. And Zeile had 4 homers against him. So here's Bubba Trammell. The shortstop, Reyes, makes that one-headed pickup and throws him out. 1 man left. We go to the last of the second. Cliff Floyd coming up. It's the Mets. It's the Yankees in the same ballpark. We're at Shea Stadium, New York. Little interleague interlude here in Major League Baseball. The Yankees nothing. The Mets nothing as we go to the last of the second inning.
Since we have so many young players watching, I'm going to show you something here. We're going to stop this right there. Now see how his back of his knuckles are on the ground? Well, the ball is bouncing, and that's why it hits him in the heel. The point is you should have your fingers more vertical so that the glove is more vertical and the ball will bounce into your pocket. When you see, if you're scooping it, it has to bounce up and hit you in the heel. Watch where it hits. It'll bounce up and hit you in the heel. But if your pocket is higher, it bounces into the pocket. So just for kids, you don't always scoop the ball when it's bouncing. You let the ball come to your glove. You open your pocket as wide as you can, and it'll bounce in there. But what that did show is that he's got good hands because the ball hit him in the heel and he fielded it. Looked like he didn't make any mistakes with it.
Cliff Floyd, the hitter. He's the Mets slugger right now. The top slugger with the absence of Mike Piazza on the disabled list. Floyd has 13 homers, 40 driven in, 273 average, facing David Wells. No score in the game. Wells with that big curveball inside. 3-1. Floyd is batting for the very first time in a big league game against David Wells. That fastball, and he found it back upstairs. Cliff Floyd is playing with a lot of nagging injuries.
Yeah.
And it affects his ability to plant a little bit his foot at the plate. It affects him in the outfield. It affects him running the bases. 3-2 the count. That one is cracked deep to center. Way back there is Matsui. All the way back, and that ball is gone to the deepest part of the ballpark. A tape measure homer for Clifford Floyd.
But, John, even as he runs around the bases, you can see him limping because he's not 100% healthy. His left leg seems to be bothering him. That's where you plant. But if you're as strong as he is, you don't really need to plant. Fastball away, and he just rips it dead center field right over the 410 sign.
Now Jason Phillips, Mets rookie, lines one to left field, and that's a base hit.
Floyd has a slight uppercut in his swing. You watch where he finishes. Slight uppercut right there. But he makes good contact and hits it over the center field wall. That is a slugger swing, slight uppercut.
David Wells allowing a home run for the 10th time this year. Usually at Shea, if you make him hit it to that part of the ballpark, it works out well for the pitcher.
Except tonight the flags are dead still in center field. And that's why the wind usually bothers balls hit straight away because there's no background. See, the flags are dead, but in here and in here it knocks, because it's all open, the wind usually affects balls hit straight away to center field. But you can see not a whisper of wind out there in center field and didn't hold it up.
Phillips at first. Jeremy Burnett's the hitter, another slugger. That curveball is top foul. Right over to Mookie Wilson. A kick save and a beauty.
Jeremy Burnett has been really, a plus for this ball club since he came off the disabled list. I mean, he's been hot, swinging the bat well, hitting timely home runs. He's been really swinging the bat well.
By the way, That is Gary Pettis is the first base coach.
I didn't want to say anything. I just, gonna let you correct it. Gary's from Oakland's the reason I know, and he was a friend of my family's. That's why I knew who it was.
Well, where's Mookie?
I don't know. Now, you talk about a guy that could run him down in center field. He could run him down. Gary Pettis. I mean, he could run him down.
Now, there's Mookie. I knew he was here somewhere. Oh, that's that
Wild
if you're
pitch.
a Red Sox fan, the infamous moment, the Bob Stanley wild pitch in that 6th game of the '86 World Series. Here's Vance Wilson. Curveball for a strike. Wilson doing a great job since Mike Piazza went down with an injury. I mean, Wilson hit the ball well. He get a .285 batting average, 6 homers, 24 driven in.
And he throws well.
1 strike to count. Phillips at first, 1 away. They jammed it, and the ball ripped foul. 0-2 to count. David Wells, as usual, a strike-throwing machine. Wells with only 4 walks all year long, now in, 102 innings pitched. So he's won 9 games this year, and he's only walked 4. There've been only 4 times since 1889 when a pitcher has made at least 20 starts in a year and had more wins than walks. Only 4 times. What's that, in 114 years?
Kurt Schilling was on that pace, I think, last year. I don't know if he reached 100.
The walks allowed by Wells this year: Torrey Hunter of the Twins, Eric Burns of Oakland, Todd Walker of the Red Sox, and Morgan Ensberg 10 days ago in an interleague game. 0-2 the count. Just missing on the inside with that fastball.
Good pitch. That's a good 0-2 pitch. You swing at it, you jam yourself. Right off the inside corner.
Now see, that's where the catcher, Flaherty, made that look like a pretty good pitch. The way he caught it, the way he set his target, it was well off the inside. Still 1-2 to Wilson. Wells, after working him inside a couple times, went back away that time. Wilson fought it off. 1-2. But David Wells, I mean, just for the sake of argument, he might not keep up this pace. Curt Schilling could not last year. But Christy Mathewson did it a couple of times. Way, way back. High and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mathewson did it, and a guy with the Reds. And this is not the big red machine Reds.
No, we didn't have any of that.
Slim Sally.
Slim Sally.
1919 did it. And the last guy to do it was Brett Saberhagen with the Mets in 1994. Now, there's a little asterisk in my mind next to that one because that season didn't get played out to the end. Saberhagen won 14 games for the Mets that year and walked 13.
And I'm sure Brett appreciates you putting an asterisk by it.
Another foul by Wilson, so he continues to battle it out with David Wells. Meanwhile, then there's walks per 9 innings pitched. Wells this year is averaging about 1/3 of a walk for each 9 innings. And this is during individual seasons. Saberhagen averaged about 2/3 of a walk for every 9 innings pitched in '94. 2-2 the count. And Wilson hits a soaring foul down the left field line that time. Again, Wells, seems like Wells is just pitching about 4 inches to the plate, Joe. There's 2 inches on the inside and 2 inches on the outside.
Well, he is definitely controlling, where he's throwing the ball. I mean, he's got good control. But so does Glavine. They both need their control. They're not overpowering pitchers.
Cliff Floyd, who launched one over the center field wall to start the inning. The Mets lead 1-0. Phillips at first. Big curve, a little bit high. Wells wanted a little more consideration on that pitch from plate umpire Bruce Freeman.
Well, you can see it, the overhand curveball, and I think he was fooled by the pitch more than he thought it was a ball, meaning the hitter, Vance Wilson. I think he didn't take it because he thought it was a ball. I think he took it because he couldn't hit it.
Runner goes. Fastball. Short hop by Jeter. He's going to have to go to first, and he does. Wilson is retired. Phillips running with that pitch. Otherwise, that would have been a double play.
Well, you're playing in a little bit for the double play, so this becomes an easy play for Jeter. If he was back a little bit, that ball could have taken a big hop. But he comes up, looks at second, realizes he doesn't have a play there, and has plenty of time to get Wilson at first base.
I'm glad you thought it was such an easy play.
Well, it's a short hop. If you can take it on the short hop or the big hop, it is an easy play. It's that in-between hop when it's tough.
Shinjo, 2 hot, 1 ball and no strikes. And now the catcher, Flaherty, runs out to speak with David Wells.
Well, I'm sure he wants to remind him that Tom Glavine is on deck. And, you know, we do not have to give in to Shinjo. Though Shinjo is a good fastball hitter.
But now getting back to Jeter, I mean, he's dropped down to his knees. He's reaching out to his backhand side.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just like a routine.
It was pretty routine, John. These are big league players, man. This is the big leagues.
There's no such thing as a routine play.
If you're in the big leagues and you get the ball on the short hop, that's a routine play.
I mean,
or the big hop. Those two.
I mean, that as opposed to that in-between kind of a hop.
In between, I'd give him credit. Say it was a great play. That was, I guarantee you, if Jeter would tell you he's supposed to catch that ball 99 out of 100 times, and he would.
Well, if it's so routine, he should catch it 100 out of 100.
No, I mean, one time it may hit a rock and bounce. It may take a bad bounce. I mean, if it bounces like it's supposed to, the ball's, I mean, it's just a boom. It's just right there. It's like catching a throw. It's really it's not any different.
But it kind of came up and hit the heel there a little bit, I noticed.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought he made it pretty easy.
That's cracking out.
I mean, it's like
maybe we'll get another look at it.
Well, it's like a throw to first base. If that ball only short hops to first base, then you expect him to catch it.
Yeah. Especially if I'm the guy who threw it.
Yeah. Now watch. Now watch how easy this is. Look at that.
Well, look where it hit
right
there.
In the glove. Right in the middle. I mean, he's got a big glove. I mean, he never hesitated. He knew he had it.
2-2 the count to Shinjo. He tops that one
now,
down.
you want to make it a tough play, let Omar Vizquel, instead of backhanding it, barehanded. Now, then we'd say it was a tough play.
Well, not for Omar.
Right. Hey, Omar just, instead of reaching like this, he would just extend and catch it, boom. Throw the guy out.
No problem for Omar. I just thought it was a
nice play. Wow.
I mean, he got himself in a. I mean, what you're saying is that's the way big leaguers do.
Yeah, these are big league players.
But I mean, sometimes maybe we forget just how well these guys perform out here.
Well, that might be true.
They take that ball was hit about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They got there in a hurry.
But you have to remember, the guys that can't make those plays are not in the big league.
I'm just trying to remember to appreciate that these are the best.
Well, and not only that, you're talking about one of the better shortstops in Major League Baseball, not just an average shortstop.
And so now we know he can make the routine plays. Shinjo pops it off the fist. Now let's watch it in full speed. They played by Jeter.
It'll be easier in full speed. See, look, it hits close to him. If it hits away from you, that's where you have the problems.
Meanwhile, Jeter's friend David Wells is being given a workout here, especially by these last 2 hitters. Vance Wilson, who finally hit that routine ground ball to Jeter. And now Shinjo. This will be the 27th pitch of the inning thrown by Wells. And that will go back out of play again. So Shinjo continues to battle it out with him. But, you know, there are some guys that there's a phrase that they have soft hands.
Correct.
Other guys don't really have the soft hands. And in a play like that, if you don't have the soft hands, a lot of times that ball will kind of bounce out of the glove, right? I mean, there's a little technique to making it look so easy.
Again, we're talking about one of the top 4 or 5 shortstops in Major League Baseball.
2-2 the count. Third ball. Shinjo drills that one foul.
Now, if you're out there and you make that play, I'd say great play, John. I would. I really would.
Yeah, and I would expect you to. All right. Derek Jeter. And he is, I mean, He's fun to watch. Covers lots of ground. He's got the soft hands. He's got the whole package out there.
Whole package.
There's a guy maybe who doesn't appreciate Jeter that much. He's a Mets fan.
Wait, you gotta get ready. You gotta get ready.
Well, they're having fun. They're at the ball game.
Here's the 10th pitch to Shinjo, and he changed up and struck him out. 1-0 Mets. Now, when we come back, we'll visit with former Mets manager Bobby Valentine. Shea Stadium, New York, the Yankees and the Mets. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan. 1-0. The Mets are leading the Yankees now as we go to the third inning. Tom Glavine to John Flaherty, hitting 8th in the order, and Flaherty takes a strike. David Wells is on deck. And with us from the studios of Baseball Tonight is the former manager of the New York Mets, Bobby Valentine. Bobby, welcome to the telecast.
John, Joe, great to be with you. Thank you.
There he is up in the upper right-hand corner.
Here I am up in the corner of the state up in Bristol.
All right, now Glavine with his 1-1 pitch to Flaherty. And that is down the right field line. Burnett's after a long run into the corner, and he's got it. Flaherty retired. There is one away. Now, Bobby, what about these Mets? I mean, they seem to be going a different way now. Almost by necessity with the injury to Piazza and whatnot. Got a lot of young guys out on this field. What do you think about the Mets now?
Well, I think the fans are really excited. I know the players who are on the field are really excited. I saw Vance Wilson just the other day in my restaurant in Stamford. He's really excited to get this chance, and he's deserving of it. He's a really fine player. You have Jose Reyes at shortstop, who Reyes is one of the fine talents in all of baseball, and he's excited. And there he is making an easy play look easy, which a big leaguer is supposed to do, right, Joe?
Yeah, but thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you were watching that.
I've been listening.
That's what they're supposed to do.
That's what they're supposed to do.
that.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I have a question though about Reyes. I guess the question is, do you think he's, they're bringing him up too soon or right on time, or because you don't want a guy to come up here and struggle. I know they say, well, he plays defense great, but if you're not hitting, it plays on your mind.
It does play on your mind, but I think this is a guy in this situation has the talent. I don't think there's any question what his talent on the field or in the batter's box is. And you know as well as anyone, Joe, you can't learn to play in the major leagues unless you're in the major leagues. And what this guy needs to do is learn to play in front of the big crowds with the speed of the game at the major league level, in front of those people, and handle big league pitching. I think he can handle the rest of the pitching, and if not, he still has winter ball where he's going to get another 65 games to develop if they want to use that. So I think it's very necessary for them to use the rest of this season to help this young man develop as a major league baseball player.
Well, what I like is what you said, that he can handle it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
His makeup will allow him to struggle a little bit maybe at the start and develop into a good player. But he's, he looks like he swings the bat okay. He's got some pop in the bat. We know that. And if you have that, you have a chance of hitting.
Yeah, the only thing they'll fall into jeopardy with is he hits so much better right-handed. Someone might get the crazy idea of having only hit right-handed. They shouldn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got a...
Alfonso Soriano.
Go.
Alfonso Soriano's just gotten a base hit, and Derek Jeter, the hitter now for the Yankees. Bobby Valentine is with us from the Baseball Tonight studios. Now, Bobby, what about the Mets? I mean, this youth movement has begun now. It was almost like there was no other way to go. I mean, should that youth movement have started a little bit earlier?
Well, I talked to Fred Wilpon the other day, and I think he's really excited right now about getting a blend and getting the right blend for the future. I think it could have started a little earlier. I think Reyes could have been up in the big leagues the last month of last season. I think that they could have done a few things, or we could have done a few things some last season. But right now, with the injuries necessitating some moves, those moves have come from within. And I think, again, for the fans and for the organization, it's a good thing.
Jason Phillips on the bag at first with Soriano, who's a base-stealing threat. Jeter at the plate. There goes Soriano. They got him picked off. Phillips is going to have to make the throw. The tag, and Reyes tags out Soriano, and the inning is over. All right, Bobby Valentine's here with us. He's going to stay put, and we're going to go to the last half of the third with the Mets leading the Mets 1, Yankees nothing. Subway Series action from Shea Stadium. Interleague play. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Tom Glavine leads off for the New York Mets against David Wells. And He takes the ball. Then the top of the order, Jose Reyes and Roberto Alomar to follow. Bobby Valentine, the former Mets manager, now with us here at ESPN on Baseball Tonight up at the Baseball Tonight studios. And with us as Tom Glavine. It's a little dribbler. And Wells with the barehanded pickup. Glavine is retired, and there is one away. Bobby, I mean, Tom Glavine brought in this year. He's been around for a long time. The Mets have been brought in a lot of free agents who have been around, maybe their best years behind them. And we have the advantage of hindsight now. We see how it's been turning out. I mean, do you think that the Mets made mistakes? Did they go the wrong way these last couple of years?
Oh, I think everybody makes mistakes in life. And, you know, this is one of those things where the win now mentality took over in the front office of the New York Mets and tried to do what was best, did spend a lot of money, which the fans wanted and baseball wanted because they had a lot of money, but some of these guys just didn't pan out, obviously. So now the blend of youth and experience is the way they're thinking about going. It's probably a better idea.
You know, the only thing I would question is, Bobby, is that, you know, Reyes is 20 years old, but some of these other guys are 27, 26. I mean, they're not as young as people think.
Yeah, it's not
Reyes,
a real young team as you think of guys just out of the minor leagues. You're right. Even Vance Wilson's closer to 30. So, yeah, they're not in a 5-year rebuilding program. They're in a 1.5-year rebuilding program or so, bringing guys in who are good to add to young players who develop and develop quickly. That's got to be the plan.
Yeah, but the question would be, how are you going to rid yourself of some of the salaries you have in order to make those moves that you're talking about, bringing some guys in to fit the mix?
Well,
I guess indirectly, go ahead.
That's very challenging. Jim Duquette, though, now the new general manager, is really suited for that job, and I think he'll be as creative as anyone alive to get it done. I'm optimistic to think that as dismal as it seems, that gray skies are going to clear up real soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow, and there'll be 80 degrees there.
And that's back out of play. Now, meanwhile, Mike Piazza is going to get back, perhaps this year, but certainly he's got several years left in his contract. What about Mike Piazza moving to first base? What's your feeling about that?
Well, I think if he's going to be a Met, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to have to do. Maybe not on a full-time basis, but he's going to be a first baseman / catcher. And I haven't talked to Mike. Hopefully he'll be willing. I think he'll be able if he gets enough of time to work at it.
I mean, and would that be to his benefit? I mean, the best thing for Piazza's future, especially as a hitter, to not have to be catching every day.
Well, I guess in the long run, if you're thinking about Mike's total career, that probably is true, and it might even be best for the team right now. But remember, this is a guy who came from, there's a ball to Alomar, who came from very high means. He didn't need to play baseball and make money. He's made a lot of money because he's dedicated himself to be one thing, the best catcher to ever play. That's what motivates him, and that's what drives him, and that's a situation that just has to be dealt with. It doesn't have to be one of these, oh, who cares what he thinks he has to do, what's the best thing for the team. You have to care about that because that is what makes Mike the great person and great player that he is.
And I agree with that 100% because, you know, most people think now that he's the best hitting catcher in the history of the game. And if you move to first base, you're just another good hitter. There are some other guys that can hit at first base.
Yeah, and he'll hit better if he was rested more. There's no doubt about that. And if he got to play more, his numbers will be better. But remember, again, this is Mike Piazza's life in a Met uniform or whatever uniform he's in. Obviously, I know that, but it's Mike Piazza's life, and he should be a contributing factor in this decision-making process.
And I'm sure he will. I mean, you know, Mike's also a pretty strong personality too. I mean, he's not gonna do something that he really doesn't want to do or believe in.
Not only a strong hitter,
by the way, guys,
strong man.
Exactly.
It is now raining again at Shea Stadium. 3-2 to Roberto Alomar.
Not real hard though, Bobby. We're all right.
Okay.
And Derek Jeter,
good report,
on a routine play, throws out Roberto Alomar. Bobby Valentine, enjoying you on Baseball Tonight. Thanks for stopping in.
I love you guys. Thanks Joe. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Take care.
A line drive back at Glavine, off the bat of Jeter. Glavine throws him out, and let's see if Glavine's okay.
Well, he looked like he got his glove up in time, but you never know because it was hit so hard and so it got back there so quickly. Well, he's stretching. Maybe he didn't get it up in time.
In the rain at Shea Stadium, not an extremely heavy rain, but a steady rain falling.
Let's take a look here. He's trying to react. I don't think he did. It looked like it may have hit him on the leg. I'm not sure. Yeah, it hit him on the leg. It didn't look like he got his glove there in time.
Maybe in his midsection there, Joe.
Well, I couldn't tell. They stopped it before it hit him. But you're probably right. It probably did get him above the belt or right around the belt.
Well, it would be illegal to get him below the belt. We know that.
I can't tell where it got him.
I think he got him.
Well, but it doesn't look like it hits him in the stomach and then drop down. It either
first baseman, number 25, Jason Giambi.
See, the ball's already going down.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the stomach and then just bounced down. Yeah.
Okay.
Because all those sit-ups that he does, he's got these strong lower abdominals. He's an old hockey player anyway, Joe. That was nothing to him. So now that, I just want to be clear on this. That's not a routine play.
No, that's not routine.
Okay.
Pitchers are very vulnerable when they release the ball. I mean, they're just in a weakened position there as far as fielding the ball that's hit back at them.
Change up. 0-2 to Jason Giambi, who grounded out to second his first time. Well, we're playing in the rain again here in New York. Rain has just become an everyday fact of life in this part of the country. 0-2 the count. And another changeup. Strike three.
I think this changeup is very effective here because of location. He's looking that it looks like it might be a fastball in, so he has to react quickly. They're set up outside, and he has to react quickly. He thinks it might be a fastball, and you can see right there the rotation. He releases it, and Giambi a little bit out in front.
Now Mondesi, and that is ball one, a fastball down and away. Mondesi popped up to the second baseman his first time. The Mets lead the Yankees 1-0. It's been pretty vintage Tom Glavine so far tonight.
Well, I expected that. That's what I was saying at the beginning because these guys are more free swingers.
There's Clifford Floyd over toward left center.
Stumbling over there, too, I might add.
Playing in pain out there, Clifford Floyd. He's coming up second when we come back. From Shea Stadium, New York, the New York Mets 1, the New York Yankees 0. We got a vintage matchup here at Shea Stadium, the two New York ball clubs with David Wells and Tom Glavine. And there's the former mayor, Rudolph Giuliani, and the current mayor, Mike Bloomberg, both in attendance. Giuliani, of course, was very well known as a Yankee fan. Bloomberg is a Mets fan. There's Jack Nicholson. He's sitting down by the Yankee dugout, also a Yankee fan. For the Mets, Wigginton bloops one into center, and that is a base hit. And it will bring up Cliff Floyd, who homered his first time. Sunday Night Sounds tonight with Cliff Floyd wearing a microphone. And let's take a listen.
Number 30.
Mike, so microphone check 1 2. What is this? After Tate say it. 5 foot assassin. You see that, Joe?
So here's Cliff Floyd now. His second at bat of the night. Curveball, a strike, and it's 0-1. Floyd hit that one over the 410-foot marker, the deepest, most distant locale for a home run hitter in Shea Stadium. So that was a big fly.
True big fly.
He's got 14 home runs for the year now. Estimated that one went 435 feet.
Good pitch. Well, he threw him a curveball that buckled him a little bit, and then he starts with a fastball in under the hands. Two very good pitches by David Well. Watch this last pitch. Back in under the hands, and with a little sink to it.
So quickly, Floyd down in the count, 0-2. Wigginton, the runner at first, nobody out. And that's back out of play.
Fastball in again.
I mean, left-handed hitters, I mean, they don't expect the ball to come in like that from a left-hander, do they?
I've always felt that it was tougher to hit left-handed pitchers that did run the ball back inside than the ones that just threw curveballs away or sliders away or fastballs away.
0-2. There goes Wigginton. Strike three, but Wigginton steals it easily without drawing a throw. So Wigginton moves up a base as Floyd strikes out. One away. Now tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Oakland Athletics will take on Alex Rodriguez and the Texas Rangers. The A's and the Rangers, Barry Zito, Cy Young winner in the American League last year, up against Tony Mounts, a rookie in his 3rd career start. So Miguel Tejada, Eric Chavez, and the Athletics up against A-Rod, Rafael Palmeiro, and the Rangers. Phillips to deep center. Matsui. That's what usually happens to balls that are hit to that part of the ballpark.
Well, that was also an off-speed pitch, a changeup, so he had to supply all the power. A little different. In fact, you know, I thought that he swung at it because it looked like David Wells gave it away. He slowed up his motion. And I thought Jason Phillips saw it, so that's why he swung at it. Watch him slow up. See right there, he slowed his motion. He has great arm speed normally with his changeup, but that one he did not disguise really well.
So Phillips hit the ball hard twice. Matsui got back pretty well on that ball, though. Here is Jeremy Burnitz. Curveball. Burnitz just always takes that hellacious swing, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting to me, John, though, because the scouts said that Matsui was not a good outfielder, but he could hit home runs. And it's almost been the opposite. He doesn't hit many home runs, but he is a good outfielder. So a little bit opposite of what the scouting report gave, you know, the Yankees when they were deciding on whether to try to sign him or not.
I mean, he's really helped him with the loss of Bernie Williams.
Right.
Lost their everyday center fielder. They didn't have any real natural candidates to move out there, and Matsui has done a very fine job of it by all accounts.
And you mentioned Bernie Williams. The fact that Bernie Williams is not in the middle of this lineup to add stability has really hurt this team.
1-2 now to Burnitz.
He was always the tough out in the middle of this lineup. I mean, he made the pitcher battle. He gave his teammates a look at the pitchers and how to handle them. I mean, he's a pretty special player that they're missing there. And Nick Johnson was also getting on base. He was providing a lot of on-base, the high on-base percentage, and swinging the bat well. So they're missing 2 really good players right now.
Curveball rolled to Soriano. And the inning is over. Wigginton stranded. When we come back, Joe Morgan will chat with Joe Torre about distractions surrounding the Yankees. 1-0, the Mets out front. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel. Tonight, we're at Shea Stadium. The New York Yankees trailing the New York Mets 1-0 as we move to the top of the 5th inning. And Tom Glavine with a vintage kind of a performance so far. And here he hits the outside corner with a fastball to Hideki Matsui. Strike 1. Matsui, I mean, the greatest slugger in the Japanese leagues, hit 50 home runs last year there. And that's ball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, his nickname in the Japanese leagues, and he played for the Giants, the Yankees of Japanese baseball in the Central League. And his nickname was Godzilla. 2-1 the count. But, you know, he comes over here, and he's facing pitches that he knows nothing about. The ballpark's a little bit bigger.
And the pitching is a little quicker.
And he comes to a ball club where a lot is expected right away. 2-1 the count. So, I mean, keep in mind with what he's done so far, and he's still kind of in a learning situation. His average season with the Tokyo Giants the last 7 years showed 40 homers and 102 batted in. Over the mound, Alomar. Safe as Phillips could not hold that one-hop throw.
That was a nice attempt by Phillips to hold it, but a great play by Alomar. He just couldn't get enough on the throw.
Third baseman, number 27, Todd Zeile.
Roberto Alomar showing he still can cover some ground.
Well, he got rid of it. Now watch Phillips. He goes down to stay down low. That helps you. And you can see how he gets down low. That helps him to follow the track of the ball. And usually when they go in those big gloves, they don't come out. But that one did. And it's probably because that glove may not be broken in well because he hadn't been playing first base that long.
Phillips had been doing a lot of catching in the minor leagues. So Zeile is up, and he takes a called strike from Glavine. Matsui, the runner at first. Matsui, by the way, has not stolen nor has he attempted to steal a base this year.
But Todd Zeile's a guy that Joe Torre would not be afraid to hit and run with. Because Zeile can handle a bat in hit and run situations.
Matsui back to the bag. Well, you had your chat with Joe Torre before the game.
Yeah, it was great.
And he indicated that he liked this ball club better than last year's ball club in terms of the way they play the game.
Of being able to do more with them, you know.
That's off the outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Todd Zeile, who walked his first time. Joe Torre, who's been in the headlines a lot lately, and it sounds like he's been critical of George Steinbrenner, the Yankees owner.
But he was also very forthcoming, John, in answering that type of a question as well. You know, I asked him a question and he answered it completely instead of halfway. You know what I mean? He answered the question. I think when you talk to Joe, I mean, you have to leave there feeling like, well, I understand where he's coming from, you know. And there's his sidekick, Don Zimmer.
Zim. Matsui at first, and now back to the bag, and the rain is falling. I mean, it's a kind of a thick rain that's falling right now at Shea Stadium. This game is not yet an official game, but once the Yankees at-bats have been finished here,
if they're still behind,
then it will be an official game.
But this is a perfect hit-and-run situation. That's why I think you see Glavine throw over there a lot.
And now ball 3 to Zeile. Bubba Trammell, a right-handed hitter, is up next. Three balls and a strike to Todd Zeile. All right, 3-1. What about a little movement of the runner on this count?
Well,
he is running. And look at that, right through the open side of the infield. Matsui will speed into third.
Well, that's why you have some hitters can hit and run, others cannot. And Joe Torre talked to me about that in our conversation today. And that was a perfect situation. Didn't run. It's always perfect with Tom Glavine, 3-1. He's going to throw the ball away. It's always going to be out there where that one doesn't go away, but it's out away from him enough that he can push it the other way. And that's a great job of hitting and running by Zeile. I mean, that's what I said. He uses the bat very well in hit and run situations. That was perfect.
And that is how Todd Zeile has ended his 0 for 20 streak.
Oh, that's right. He also did that, too.
He thought he'd done it yesterday with a couple of hits. They ended up not counting. This one doesn't count just yet. A half swing. Matsui breaks for the plate. Reyes to second in time with a force out. And the Yankees have tied the game. Trammell gets an RBI on an inadvertent swing.
And the ball was slippery when it got to the shortstop Reyes, and it kind of slipped out of his hand a little bit.
The catcher, number 17.
So the check swing, and the grass on the infield is now getting wet. So this is not as routine a play as it appears. Now watch, see, it rolls on the grass a couple of times. Now watch it kind of slips out of his hand there, and he ends up, you see him wiping his leg because the wet ball had slipped out of his hand.
Alomar, one over the first, two, double play off the bat of Flaherty, and Roberto Alomar starts a beautiful double play to win the inning. But the Yankees have tied it. Like material around the home plate area, and Vance Wilson seems to be having a little trouble with it. Talking it over with Bruce Fleming, the plate umpire. There's the catcher, John Flaherty, but Vance Wilson is doesn't seem to be all that pleased with it. He did quite a bit of landscape work out there, Joe. Wilson grounded out to short his first time, and the curveball is too low. 1-1 the score, last of the fifth. The Mets scored in the second on the Clifford Floyd home run, and the Yankees scored in the first half of this inning. And a hit-and-run play was a big play in the inning. Shallow right center, base hit for Wilson.
Now let's take a look at the double play that ended the inning. And this is one of the reasons Roberto Alomar is one of the great defensive players of all time. He catches the ball, but instead of flipping it with his glove, he takes his time, flips it to the second baseman, or shortstop, perfect feed, and now becomes an easy double play. So often we see guys try to backhand that ball with the glove, and they don't quite make the play the same way. But that was perfect execution there by Roberto Alomar and Jose Reyes.
Now Shinjo with Wilson back to the bag at first. All right, now Shinjo is a guy, I mean, he's not like Todd Zeile.
No,
Shinjo
he's a free swinger.
He swings and misses a lot.
Yeah, it's a different situation than what Joe Torre had.
Yankees, the middle infielders are pulled in halfway, and Shinjo drops a bunt. Soriano goes over the cover first, and the ball is juggled by Giambi, and they get nobody.
Well, it's a perfectly executed bunt by Shinjo. You want the first baseman to field it. He forces Giambi to come in and field it. But Giambi fumbles it and is not able to get anyone at first base. Good hustle by Shinjo as well. See, I think he looked up to see where Shinjo was, and he didn't come out. Now watch him look up. He'll look up to see where Shinjo is, and he just does not make the play. And Shinjo did a great job of hustling. You know, when you sacrifice a lot of times, you just run it out. But you can see he's going full speed down the line. Good job.
Now Glavine gets a bunt down. Zeil's only play is to first. Soriano covering. Wilson over to third. Shinjo over to second. And that will I'll always associate that with those Atlanta teams, the Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz teams. Those guys in bunt situations always just walked up there and got that bunt right down. Right now.
Well, that's two perfect bunts. The first one you need to make the first baseman field it. That one you needed to force the third baseman to field it. And Glavine did a perfect job with his, and so did Shinjo. Look at this. And it's a tough pitch, but he makes sure that he gets it down the third baseline, and Zeil's only play is to first base. Great execution both by Shinjo and Glavine.
I mean, he jumped in the air as he bunted that ball.
Well, he was trying to make sure that he stayed above the ball and did not, you know, go underneath it, pop it up.
I mean, now that's a craftsman.
Well, he is a craftsman.
I mean, that's a guy who knows what he's doing and knows how to get it done no matter what the situation that presents itself.
Well, here's what John's talking about. Watch, he wants to keep the barrel of the bat above the ball. See how he wants to make sure that that bat is above the ball. Otherwise, you will pop it up, obviously, if you go underneath it. But if you stay on top of it, you're going to get it on the ground, and he did that.
I mean, that's a pitch the guys pop up.
Right.
I mean, that was just beautifully done.
Well, automatically, when you see a guy bunting, if you're the pitcher, you try to throw the ball up. So that if it is up, he will pop it up if he doesn't get the bat on top like he's supposed to. They're playing the infield all the way in.
Well, it's the fifth inning, but it is raining. Reyes, the leadoff man, pops it up foul. Flaherty comes back, but this one is out of play.
And this is one of those things that, you know, you learn with experience, and that is situational hitting. You are hitting right now. You know what you have to do. I have to get the ball into the outfield. That should be your first thought. And, you know, as you become a veteran, you realize that even if the ball's down, I have to swing up a little bit. Whatever the case, I have to get the ball into the air. That's your main objective now.
Well, 4 of Reyes' 9 hits as a big leaguer have come in situations similar to this with men in scoring position. He has driven in 11 runs already. Runners at second and third. A pitch out. They were thinking Art Howe was going to do a little squeeze play action there.
And you know what? That's not a bad idea. I mean, you know, to try to pick the right pitch to do it, you know, because you do have a young player. But how many times has he been asked to suicide squeeze in the minor leagues as well? All those things have to come into play.
Wilson at third, Shinjo at second. Into left field and hit well. Trammell still going back onto the warning track. Wilson will score easily after the tag out. Shinjo is 2/3 of the way to third. He goes back to second. And Jose Reyes continues to get it done in the clutch. His 12th RBI in only his 12th big league game.
And, John, that would have been a home run, except now the wind is blowing in from left field across toward right field. Because I thought when he first hit it, I thought it was out. And one thing to remember, Bobby Valentine said he's a much better hitter from the right side. And you can see good pitch there by Wells, but he does a good job of getting underneath it, which is what you have to do.
Well, Bubba Trammell was playing him like a guy who was likely to bloop one in. He was playing shallow. He had to go back a long ways on that one.
And I still think because of the way the wind's blowing, it knocked it down, because the wind is blowing now from left field across the right field. It's blowing this way now, and it helped to knock that ball down.
Roberto Alomar 0 for 2 in the game. 2-1. The Mets are leading. And it is 0-2 to Alomar. Now, that's a big run because, I mean, neither manager can say with any certainty how long this game is going to be able to continue tonight. We've been playing in the rain here for the last couple of innings, although the rain is much lighter now than it was. And Glavine helped set up that run with his sacrifice bunt. Alomar in the left field, deep again. Trammell going back. The wind holds it up, and the inning is over. But the Mets, it's now an official game, and the Mets are leading 2-1. All right, thanks, Pam. And meanwhile, here at Shea Stadium, the Mets are leading 2-1 as Tom Glavine goes back to work, throwing a called strike to David Wells. Wells grounded out to short his first time. He'll be followed by the leadoff man, Alfonso Soriano. And a little bit low. One ball and 1 strike. Well, it's an official game now, but I don't think there's anything more than a sprinkle falling at Shea Stadium at the moment. Off the outside, and it goes to 2-1 to David Wells. The Mets, by the way, we're looking at Tom Glavine, who won 247 games in the big leagues, who broke into the big leagues all the way back in 1987. He's facing David Wells, who also broke in 87. And there is out number 1. Well, Joe Morgan did chat with Joe Torre, the Yankee manager, before the ball game. Let's listen in.
In the past, you've always been able to contain everything in the clubhouse. It seems that there's more outside stuff that you have to deal with this year than ever before. I mean, or am I just imagining that?
No, I think so, and I haven't done a very good job. You know, I think my first commitment to this team when I took over, and you know, I was outside the fishbowl for the longest time, like most people are, and they watch what goes on. You know, the days of Gossage and Nettles and the Bronx Zoo and stuff like that, and you're always curious how you would handle certain situations. But I knew that most of the disruptions and distractions came from the fact that came from not a lot of baseball-related things. So what I made a commitment to my ball club about was that I'm going to try to keep as many distractions away from you as I can. try to insulate the clubhouse as best I can. And, you know, it's worked pretty well over the last 7 or so years. I got, you know, I thought this year it's been more public. I'm a little more wary now about even talking about Mr. Steinbrenner, because I seem to say things and they don't turn out real good. So I'm sort of reserving that stuff from now on. But I think it's so important in New York because of, you know, talk radio and because of the number of media people. And players read the paper and they listen to the radio. And I think it's important to make sure that they're concentrating on the game. And my concern is I don't want them worried about what might happen, whether somebody's going to be, you know, traded or sent to the minor leagues. I'd like them to have that information from me. So that's been a tougher job this year.
And I thought that was a fantastic answer in that, I mean, he was very forthcoming. And he basically said that, you know, maybe he didn't handle some of the off-field stuff that came, you know, people were saying that, you know, the owner was upset with him about this and that, and he reacted. And his point was in the past, he's been able to handle it because he didn't react. And he did say, I did react this year, and I shouldn't have. And I think that's a very truthful answer. And it's even important because he understands that. He understands that, hey, maybe it's not doing any good for me to fight back or to make statements. So that's why Joe Torre is a great manager. He understands, you know, what it takes in that clubhouse.
Derek Jeter, the hitter. 2-0 the count to Jeter. Alfonso Soriano, who's single to right, is at first base. The possible tying run. And he's well capable of stealing his way into scoring position. He's had 19 steals this year. So Glavine keeping a close eye on him. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, there's been this seeming serenity surrounding the Yankees in the Joe Torre era that was never there during the George Steinbrenner era. Soriano started, then stopped, and the ball is whacked into left field for a base hit.
I'm not sure, but it seemed to me that I saw Reyes kind of flinch a little bit when he broke for second. I'm not sure if he was going to cover or Alomar was going to cover. But just out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw him flinch a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what base stealers do. They distract you a little bit. And Jeter just bangs it in the hole. Not to say that he could have caught it anyway, but that's what happens when you have a base stealer on first base. Everybody on the infield gets a little jumpy.
So Soriano and Jeter have set things up nicely for the slugger, Jason Giambi. The Yankees are down 2-1. For the second inning in a row, they've had a couple of singles to start an inning against Tom Glavine. 1 ball and no strikes to Giambi, who has grounded out and struck out against Glavine tonight.
And this is one of those situations where Tom Glavine cannot afford to pitch from behind against Jason Giambi. He can't go 2-1 or 3-1. He's going to have to make something happen before he gets to that count.
And ball 2.
And that's what I'm talking about. Now Giambi is in the driver's seat because he knows he can't walk him. So Giambi can take anything that's close, whether it's on the edge or not. He doesn't have to swing at it. You know, he can look for a zone now and try to drive the ball.
So a very big pitch right here for Glavine to make.
This one and the next one. I mean, even if it goes to 2-1, the two next pitches are the biggest pitches in this at bat.
3-0.
See, he's very cautious there. He knows that Giambi's sitting 2-0 trying to get something to drive, so he tries to make a perfect pitch out there and he misses with it.
All right, he's Jason Giambi. He's one of the top sluggers in the league.
No, I don't let him swing 3-0 because the last thing you want is him to swing it. Looks like a good pitch, and it's a sinker, and he hits into the double play.
Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk, and now the bases are loaded. And at least from Glavine's point of view, a hitter with whom he is well familiar.
Well, in that case there also, we talked about Glavine not giving in. When the count went to 2-0, he was not going to give in to Giambi. He was hoping that he could throw the ball close enough that Giambi would chase a pitch or swing at it. He could not get Giambi to do that. And it's very difficult to double Raul Mondesi on a routine ground ball. But that's what he's looking for right now.
Mondesi's had 50 career at-bats against Glavine and 15 hits, a .300 average with 2 homers in those 50 at-bats. Vern Rule, the pitching coach, has paid a visit to the mound. 1 out, and the bases loaded for the Yankees for Raul Mondesi. Well, this ordinarily, when he's healthy, Bernie Williams would be up right now.
Right. And Bernie is a little more patient than Mondesi.
Mondesi is a real free swinger. 3 men on, 1 man out. Well, that's just what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. But you see, but Glavine's not going to give in. I mean, he's gotten to the point, this point in this ball game where he says, we're in the 6th inning. I cannot give in right now. I'm going to have to make good pitches. And that was a good pitch to Mondesi.
The infield double play depth for Mondesi. And the changeup is too low. 1 ball, 1 strike. This time Mondesi took it. Matsui on deck.
I don't know if this is the time, but we have not seen Glavine this entire ball game come inside, you know, to a right-handed hitter. And he has been doing more of that the last couple of years, at least keeping them honest.
That's a double play ball. Reyes for 1 to first. 2. And for the 2nd consecutive inning, Glavine gets the inning-ending double play. The Yankees do not score. Sunday Night Baseball from New York. The Yankees and the Mets interleague play. And the Yankees down 2-1 as David Wells goes to work to tie Wigginton. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Wigginton, who has struck out in single. He'll be followed by the cleanup hitter, Clifford Floyd, and then Jason Phillips. 2-1, the Mets out in front. Now, Tom Glavine has only thrown 66 pitches in 6 innings tonight, but the Mets bullpen is getting busy with John Franco, the ancient one, starting to warm up.
Well, remember a couple of starts ago, he said his elbow starts to tighten up a little bit around the 6th inning. You know, he's had some problems. You know, he even missed a start. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, if he's not out there for the 7th, and he did get hit by the line drive as well.
Change up, tapped slowly. Soriano, barehanded pickup. Got him! And Wigginton did not think so.
Well, this is a nice play by both Soriano and Giambi. There's Art Howe coming out to argue. Because Soriano was so close, he had to throw the ball hard to get the runner, but he's so close to Giambi. Giambi had to react perfectly to make this play. He barehands it, and he fires it to first base. And Giambi was in. Now watch, see how close he is to first base, and he fires it. And you see Giambi just trying to protect himself, and he is out.
Great call by Doug Eddings.
Yeah, he was out. But that was a tough play on both ends.
Not Cliff Floyd. I mean, Soriano with just a go for broke kind of a play there.
Soriano has to throw the ball hard, but he's so close to first base, and Giambi doesn't know where the throw is going to be. I mean, he has to just protect himself almost.
On that curveball, there is Soriano, shallow right. He stumbles in the wet ground and still throws him out.
Nice play. I hope he's not. Yeah, he's okay. Nice play. You know, I tell people all the time that I think this guy is going to be a great second baseman as well as a great hitter. I mean, he's just learning to play second base. I mean, he's getting better at every facet of the game. And this is a tough play. Now, see where he is? Let's see how quickly he gets a jump. He got a great jump on that ball. Barehanded, but the wet grass, he slips, but he still maintains his composure and throws a strike to first base. Look at that. I mean, that was not a routine play. He caught the ball almost behind him.
2-0, nobody on. Alfonso Soriano putting on a show in this inning. On another day, maybe the Mets have 2 men on right now with nobody out.
Well, 2 years ago, they probably would have. He's that much better in the last couple of years defensively than he was at the beginning.
Jason Phillips, the rookie, has singled and fly deep to center. It's a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, that pitch that was just out of the strike zone, only the 4th time that Wells has been out of the strike zone for the last 12 hitters.
Well, he's given up a few of these, too. Little flares that fall in.
Now Burnett's will come up. Well, the Mets bullpen is busy. Tom Glavine went into the dugout.
Jeremy Burnett.
Shaking hands with Don Baylor, and Vern Rule came over.
Well, if he shook hands, that means he's leaving. You just pat him on the back if, say, job well done in the last inning. But I think he's gone. Because once you shake his hand, that's kind of the good night touch.
Now Jeremy Burnett. Plenty of room for Trammell out there. Again, balls to left field are against the wind right now. 1 ahead, 1 left. Going to the 7th inning. Matsui perhaps against Franco. 2-1 the Mets lead the Yankees as we start the 7th inning. And John Franco has come into pitch now for the Mets in relief of Tom Glavine. So the 37-year-old Glavine. And that's got to be something to do with the reason he's out, Joe. That something isn't quite right because he'd only thrown 66 pitches.
Well, I think the elbow will tighten it a little bit, and remember, as we talked about, he got hit in the abdomen, so he may have been, a little winded as well.
Hideki Matsui against John Franco. And that's a strike on the outside. Now Franco has paid a price to get back here and into the big leagues again. He's now 42 years old, and he had surgery, the Tommy John, so-called Tommy John surgery. Matsui deep into right field, way back there, and that ball is gone. A home run. It is tied up. Matsui with his 7th home run of the year.
Well, it was a hanging breaking ball. It hung inside. And the home runs I've seen him hit have been on off-speed pitches that they hang, or, he's a good off-speed hitter. And this is a breaking ball that hangs up, and he drives it out of the ballpark. Plus, the wind is blowing that way. Well, just a little cutter, didn't do very much at all. And he hit it right out of here.
And a called strike to Todd Zeile. 2-2 in the 7th inning. Matsui launching a home run. I think Matsui, he hadn't hit that many homers so far. I have a feeling he's going to hit a lot more in the second half of this season.
Well, if they throw him some pitches that he can pull, remember what you've seen is he doesn't pull the ball that much.
Ball and a strike to Zeile, and that is a called strike too.
But if they throw him off-speed pitches or something that he can pull, then I think you will see him hit a few more home runs.
I'm going to get into the Joe Morgan Diamond Daily.
Oh, yeah.
The second half of the season, and I think Matsui's going to make me some big
bucks.
Some big simoleons there.
I didn't want to get you last week because I had, been picking so well that I didn't want to, take advantage of it last week.
You've really been on a roll.
Yeah, I've been on a roll.
Right back to John Franco on a broken bat. One away.
Well, we talked about the fact that the wind is blowing toward right field. It's really blowing hard now. And see, the target's outside. See, that ball just spins. It was supposed to be a slider away and just started to spin and well over the 358 sign. But the wind is blowing, and there's Franco's reaction. He knows that that one's not coming back.
Ball one to Bubba Trammell. So Matsui.
And you can see the flags blowing to right field now hard. So the balls will be helped to right field and knocked down to left field.
Matsui got his first Subway Series home run.
And that's the first time you ever faced Franco, I'm sure, because Franco's been gone. And Franco's very difficult for a left-hander to hit because he throws a good sinking fastball and a good breaking ball.
Bubba Trammell, the hitter. Bubba is 0 for 2, although he got a run batted in with a ground ball in the 5th inning. 7th inning, 2-2 the score. David Weathers up in the bullpen for the Mets. Changeup misses. 3-1 to Trammell. John Flaherty on deck. Our director Jimmy Moore said in my earphone, weather's coming.
I know, it got me too.
And I thought, I immediately looked out to see where the lightning was. Here's Reyes from the hole. Now that's a pretty good arm.
Yeah, I wanted to see that because I haven't seen him like throw over the top. He's thrown sidearm and so forth on double plays, but that particular play just extended his arm out. And this is what a shortstop has to be able to do in the big leagues. Throw from deep in the hole. And look at that, right over the top, a quick release with something on it. Watch, this throw has something on it too. Right there.
2 down, nobody on, and Flaherty takes the ball off the outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The Red Sox lost to the Phillies again today. Brett Myers, remember that name, he's a good one. Shut out the Red Sox at the Vet. So the Yankees can gain ground on the Red Sox with a win. At the moment, the Red Sox are 2.5 behind them. The other thing, though, to consider for Yankee fans, the Red Sox are not the immediate problem.
Right.
The Toronto Blue Jays have moved ahead of the Red Sox into second place in the American League East.
And both of them have a problem because the Oakland A's are ahead in the wild card race.
The Oakland A's beat the San Francisco Giants today in the all San Francisco Bay Area matchup. Two and 1 the count to Flaherty in the American League East. Right now the Blue Jays a 1.5 games back of the Yanks, and the Red Sox 2.5 out. The 3 teams with some thoughts of battling it out, and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays would like to prove that they belong with the Yankees.
Well, the one thing they have to fear is the next couple of weeks. They're going to play Tampa Bay 4 games. They're going to play Baltimore. They're going to play the Mets. I mean, not that that's an easy schedule, but they have played very well, meaning the Yankees against Tampa Bay. So they have 4 games against Tampa Bay and starting, this week.
So in Tampa Bay, Lou Pinella's ball club. We're trying to make life difficult for Joe Torre's club. A pop-up. Shallow right. And Roberto Alomar calls off Phillips and takes it. But Matsui greets Franco with a home run. The Yankees have tied it. 7th-inning stretch time at Shea. All right, thanks, Pam. And the Yankees and Mets tied 2-2 here at Shea Stadium. Coming up now, ESPN's coverage of the 57 College World Series with the decisive Game 3 tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Stanford Cardinal and the Rice Owls. Stanford won 8-3 today to stay alive in that series. College World Series also available on ESPN HD, our new high-definition service. Call 1-800-DIRECTV or your local cable operator to get ESPN HD now. Tell them you want it now. Back in the 6th inning, Alfonso Soriano was at first base. Derek Jeter was at the plate. Jeter got a base hit, and Lee Mazzilli wearing a microphone. He apparently saw the same thing my partner Joe Morgan saw.
Sori's false break got you maybe a base hit, took him out of position. He moved on him.
Well, you watch the shortstop, he'll take a step towards second base, and that's what we're talking about, because Soriano bluffs like he's going. He's flinched a little bit, and the ball went into the hole.
You knew that, didn't you, right?
Yeah,
I know. Hey,
he tried to hit it there.
Now.
Yeah, he said he saw it himself and tried to hit it there. They were just making a joke. But he did, that's what base stealers do. They help the guys hitting behind them.
Well, you had seen it at the same time, and Lee Mazzilli was also making the same observation. Vance Wilson against David Wells. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-2 the score at Shea Stadium. Each team with 6 hits. Each team with 1 homer. A bloop, and right there is Mondesi. Mondesi came kind of hard, and then the wind started to carry a little bit. He had to pull up in a hurry.
The center fielder, Number 5, Tsuyoshi Shinjo.
Now Shinjo, wind blowing across from left out toward right. The Yankees won here on Friday night. Then yesterday, the game got rained out, although they played until the 4th inning. Shinjo fouls one off to the right. 1 strike to Shinjo, who has struck out, and then he's had a sacrifice bunt. And on that play, he reached base on the subsequent error by Jason Giambi. Jay Bell has come out on deck. 2-2 in the last of the 7th. The Mets bullpen is busy. Ball and a strike to Shinjo. There's Jay Bell on deck. The pinch hit for John Franco. And David Weathers, the right-hander, up in the Mets bullpen. That one got Bruce Remy. Foul ball. It hit Bruce, and third base umpire Mike Winters is going to come down and see if Bruce is okay.
Looked like it got him on the padding, but it still smarts a little bit. You have a padding underneath on your right shoulder there. But it's still, the velocity of the ball really stings a little bit.
So Bruce says he's okay. He'll continue. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shinjo. Into left field. Going back is Trammell. Still going back. And the wind seems to hold this one up. That's about 3 balls now the Mets have hit against that wind in left field. And on another night, they all 3 might have been home runs.
Or earlier tonight, they would have been home runs. The wind was not blowing. So when things aren't going great for you, that's what happens. Well, the target's inside. He leaves it pretty much over the middle. Shinjo hit the ball hard. I thought it was going to go out, but then I looked up and the flags were blowing in again. So across the right field, and it stayed and knocked it down. David was concerned, too. Yeah, he was concerned.
I mean, both Jose Reyes and Roberto Alomar in the 5th inning hit deep drives to left field that got held up by the wind. This one actually, I think, was hit better than either one of those.
I agree with you. Now look at the wind. The flags are dead still now. Isn't that amazing?
This is Tony Clark. Now, Clark is capable of hitting one. Clark has hit 8 home runs and only 116 at-bats for the Mets, although his average is only 198. Huge Tony Clark, 6 feet 8 inches tall, a switch hitter. Off the fists, foul. It's a ball and a strike. Now, Clark has hit 3 home runs with 41 career at-bats against David Wells. So we saw Jay Bell out on deck before, but once it became 2 down and nobody on, Tony Clark instead came out. Bell back in the dugout. 2-2 in the last of the 7th. Curveball. He started, then held up. 2 balls and a strike. Next Sunday, we'll be right back here in New York, but at Yankee Stadium for the Mets and Yankees. And they're going to play another one of those day-night doubleheaders, Joe. 1 game at Yankee Stadium, 1 game at Shea Stadium next Saturday to make up for yesterday's rainout. And a pop-up. Giambi. In fair ground.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Nextel, life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by AIG. For insurance, loans, retirement. AIG, we know money.
The Yankees 2, the Mets 2. And now we move to the 8th inning. And new pitchers come on for the Mets, David Weathers. And a pinch hitter is also coming in at this point. Robin Ventura batting for David Wells. And it came right after him, a fastball to the inside, swung on and missed. Ventura, himself a former Met. And he is hitting .264 with 9 home runs as a Yankee this year. This time he takes that inside fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike in the Yankee bullpen. The left-hander Chris Hammond warming up. And that's back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two in the 8th inning. Alfonso Soriano, then Derek Jeter to follow. David Wells out of the game, but he could still win the game here if the Yankees could score in this inning. Strike 3. Ventura called out.
John, I want to take a quick moment here as we see this pitch. It starts right there on the inside corner. Good pitch by Weathers. John, I want to take a quick moment and send our condolences to the Larry Doby family. Larry, of course, a Hall of Famer and the first African-American to play in the American League, passed away on Thursday. And I'm going to stay in town tomorrow and go to the funeral. But I want to send our condolences to his family.
Sad day for baseball.
Yes, it is. There was a wonderful article in the paper today written by Fay Vincent, former commissioner, about Larry. And I had the same feelings reading it, the same things that I learned about Larry. And I mean, there was no animosity from Larry because of things that happened when he broke in with the Cleveland Indians. And he broke in, most people did not realize it, just 11 weeks after Jackie Robinson.
In 1947.
Yeah, so it was the same and maybe even more difficult on his side. Because after a while, Jackie had Campanella and Newcomb with him, and Larry was pretty much on his own. So
Armando Benitez up in the bullpen, guarding the line that time and making the play. Ty Wigginton to retire Soriano. Wigginton was hugging the foul line and ended up being right there.
Well, one of the things you're supposed to do in the late innings is prevent a double.
Derek Jeter.
And he did that by being right on the line. And this ball is smashed. You see where he is right there. And he's able to cover the ground. Nice catch. And this is the tough part. That's a long throw. And he didn't have time to set himself. Nice stretch there at first base.
Jason Phillips making the stretch. 2 down Jeter. He was showing bunt there.
I'm not sure if that was just to try to get Wigginton in at third base, because with 2 outs in the 9th inning of a tie ball game, you would think that Jeter would try to hit a double or extra base hit. And I'm sure that's what he was doing, just trying to bluff to bring Wigginton in.
You mentioned in Larry Doby, Joe, a 7-time All-Star.
Right.
13 seasons in the big leagues. And the count is now 2-1 to Jeter. And in 1954, the year that Cleveland set an American League record, winning 111 games. They beat the Yankees by 8 games that year. He led the league in homers and RBIs, but ended up finishing second in the MVP voting to Yogi Berra of the Yankees. 2-2 to Jeter. And I read a quote in the New York Daily News earlier this week, Joe, about that. And he says, I never did quite figure out the voting that year, being that I had been with the team that won.
Good point.
But Yogi was such an important player for the Yankees, I don't think anyone could say he didn't deserve it just as much.
And that was Larry Doby, though. He never complained about anything.
2-2 the count to Jeter. Too far inside. 3-2. Giambi on deck.
A lot of people felt he didn't get what he deserved. Jackie got all the adulation, but he never felt slighted by that. He was never jealous of Jackie Robinson. He was definitely happy, for Jackie, not unhappy for himself.
You can see Cazo there showing that ball is about an inch off the inside. 3-2. And that's a foul. Well, we saw Larry Doby right here at Shea Stadium the night that the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's breaking the so-called color barrier, becoming the first African-American player into the big leagues in 1947. That was commemorated right here at Shea, a Dodgers-Mets game that night, and Larry Doby came on the air with us. 3-2 to Jeter. Off the fists. Wigginton. Giambi stranded in the on-deck circle. He'll lead off in the 9th inning. Top of the order for the Mets, the rookie Reyes, then Alomar and Wigginton. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Tonight we're at Shea Stadium. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Your Sunday night telecasters. The Yankees 2, the Mets 2. Now to the last of the 8th inning. The Yankees in a tight pennant race as we approach midseason. The Mets, well, they're at the moment not even on the fringes of a pennant race, undergoing more of a transformation. And nonetheless, they'd like to put it to the Yankees here before 55,000 plus at Shea Stadium. Now, our next poll question tonight was simply, who is the best manager? And Joe Torre, so far, has got a slight edge over Dusty Baker and Bobby Cox. Tony La Russa, Felipe Alou, and Frank Robinson also on the list. Here is Jose Reyes, the rookie, popping one up. Jeter, number 1. Reyes is now 1 for 3 in the game with a sacrifice fly.
Second baseman.
That's interesting voting there. They're very close. Joe Torre, Dusty Baker, and Bobby Cox.
Well, I mean, if you had an opening and all 3 of them were available,
good point.
Probably the first one who answered the phone is the guy you'd have to go with, right? I mean, how else would you pick between those guys? Frank Robinson, who in effect came out of retirement to take over the Expos at the behest of the commissioner of baseball. And the Expos have just done a great job.
Fantastic job.
Base hit for Roberto Alomar, his first hit of the game. And let's take a look now at that one from K-Zone, presented by Carfax.
The third baseman.
Well, target's away. The ball's pretty much in the middle of the plate, middle half in. And Roberto pulls it in the hole for a base hit. Jeter can't chase it down.
So Roberto Alomar. Now, Alomar ordinarily is a guy who could steal a base for you. He's got 6 steals this year in 6 attempts. Ty Wigginton, the hitter, against the 37-year-old Chris Hammond, who played for Bobby Cox last year in Atlanta and had a great season. Now playing for Joe Torre this year with the Yankees. In effect, he replaced Mike Stanton, who's now with the Mets in that Yankee bullpen. And that's ball 1.
And in our conversation before the game, he said he was very pleased with what Hammond has given him.
Hammond is a guy like Wells who rarely walks anybody. He's had 22 strikeouts and only 3 walks this year in 30 innings pitched. That's a base hit over Jeter into left center. Alomar will stop at second. So 2 men are on with 1 man out. And the Mets cleanup hitter, their slugger, Clifford Floyd, coming up.
Well, the problem with this is a line drive, but Jeter has a chance to catch it, so Alomar can't take off. Another fastball, pretty much same spot that Alomar's pitch was, but he can't take off because Jeter jumps like he has a chance, and you don't want to get doubled off, so he only ends up at second base, even though the ball was lined at the left center field.
Cliff Floyd. And that's knocked down by Flaherty and keeps the runners right where they were. Floyd knocked in the first run of the game with a long home run against Wells back in the 2nd inning.
Fastball away, and he hit it straight away center field. Right over the 410.
That's a big fly.
That's a big fly.
That's before the wind started to blow. Won't take a big fly now. Just a base hit to the outfield to put the Mets ahead. The curveball. Floyd has never had a hit against Hammond, although he's only faced him 3 times. 0 for 3 lifetime.
With good arm speed there from Hammond. It's actually a changeup. Looked like a curve, but it was a changeup.
A ball and a strike to Floyd. And too low with a fastball.
Well, good pitch is trying to throw the sinker there to get the ground ball.
So Floyd did well to take it.
Yeah, I like a sinker after a changeup.
If you're a hitter or from a pitcher?
From a pitcher standpoint. Another change.
Now that's a slow changeup, isn't it?
That one's slower than the last one. But what he's doing, watch, he jumps at the hitter, and that really confuses him. You can see jumps at him, and Floyd way out in front.
That changeup looks like it's got a second stage, doesn't it? 2-2 the count. Oh, another changeup for the strikeout.
Well, Floyd takes a big swing there. You see the changeup going down. And look at it. You can see the releases. It's more of a choke change, not your circle change as most people see. You can see way out front. A lot of pitchers throw a circle change, and that was kind of your choke change. By that, you choke it back in your fingers.
Jason Phillips has had 2 hits tonight. 2 for 3. 2 on, 2 out. And he takes that changeup. Now, he watched from the side, as Hammond must have thrown at least 3 of those changeups to Floyd.
Well, one of the things that you do when you're in the on-deck circle, you watch the guy's arm speed, you watch his release, you just watch things so that it'll help you when you walk into the batter's box.
Well, ordinarily, if he were healthy, with those 2 men on, we would have seen Piazza come up at some point in this situation. But they're missing that big bat right now.
And, you know, the Mets have had obviously some problems because they're missing Piazza, they're missing Movan.
2-0 the count. And another changeup. 2 balls and a strike. Phillips looked like he was swinging at a balloon there.
Yeah, it was interesting that he swung at that pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. That's a hitter's count, and he's swinging at a pitcher's pitch in that situation.
2-1 the count. The changeup is too low. 3-1.
Well, the one thing you do here, if you're Hammond, you realize that Jeremy Bennett's a left-handed hitter is on deck. He's on set, got the knees on the inside corner.
There's Burnett, the left-handed batting slugger.
I'd have to question Kazon on that one.
3-1 the count.
Another one. And he's able to do that because, like I said, he has Burnett on deck, and these are game-winning or losing pitches right here. See, that one looked like a strike. I have to question on the 3-1 pitch. 3-0 pitch. Or whatever it was, 3-1.
3-2 now. Alomar at second. Wigginton at first. 2-2 the score, last of the 8th. There go the runners. Phillips, base hit to right field. Mondesi's got the great arm. He's going to throw to third instead. Alomar has scored the go-ahead run. They've got Wigginton in a rundown. Jeter to Hammond for the tagout, and the inning is over. But the rookie, Jason Phillips, comes through in the clutch. The Mets have a 1-run lead. Armando Benitez is coming in for the bullpen. Giambi, Mondesi, and Matsui, the big hitters, coming up for the Yankees. A selection of items for the team you love. Shop MLB.com. It's all there. Give it a shot. MLB.com as Armando Benitez comes on. The Mets closer, 17 saves for the year. And his numbers are not too bad considering he started the year in a slump. Jason Giambi, the hitter. You got power versus power right here in a 1-run ball game. Giambi 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Timo Perez also into the game to play left field. Floyd is out. Perez in the 9th spot of the order. Fastball a strike. He looked like he's determined to keep the ball away from Giambi.
That's what it appears, that he's throwing fastballs that are running away.
But now he's behind him 3-1. Giambi 1 for 3 with a home run. He hit that home run against Benitez Friday. Benitez worked in that ball game behind. And he has walked Giambi to start the inning. Jason Phillips, the rookie, got the base hit against the veteran Hammonds to put the Mets ahead. Here's a look at the pitch from K-Zone presented by Carfax.
Well, it was supposed to be in, and the pitch was away, but it was a good pitch. That's a tough pitch. After all those change-ups, he threw him a fastball away, and he hit it the other way. Just great hitting there by Phillips. I mean, they'd thrown him all those change-ups inside and every other pitch inside, and that pitch was away, and he went the other way with it.
Pitch running, Enrique Wilson at first base, replacing Giambi. So Benitez starts off the inning with a walk. And Raul Mondesi is coming up. Mondesi, of course, a longtime National Leaguer. But he's never had a hit against Benitez. 0 for 3 lifetime against him. Mondesi 0 for 3 in this game. Art Howe with Don Baylor alongside from the Mets dugout. Trying to hold a 1-run lead. And he came after him with the high hard one. Fouled straight back. Yankee bullpen is busy. Jeff Weaver warming up. 3-2. The Mets lead the Yankees. Yankees have come back 2 different times already tonight. After the Mets had built leads. Wilson back to the bat. Well, Mondesi is not your prototype hit and run guy.
No, I don't think that's even the remote thought here. They're going to let Mondesi swing away and hope he drives the ball someplace. I mean, matches up well, a fastball pitcher against a fastball hitter. That's more like a splitter or something. Maybe a slide piece.
2 strikes to Mondesi. And it wasn't up where it was supposed to be either.
No.
I mean, it was up, not where it was supposed to be.
I think it was more of a slider.
Matsui, who homered to tie the game in the 7th, on deck. Armando Benitez, whose name comes up in a lot of rumors about possible trades to teams that need closers who are in contention. In the dirt. And breaking is Wilson, and he's in there. And now he's going to... Nope. He thought about it, but Shinjo backed up the play. So now the Yankees have the possible tying run in scoring position with nobody out.
Well, it was a wild pitch, but a great heads-up base running by Wilson. The ball bounced, and he was off and running right away. See, good job by Vance Wilson to keep the ball in front of him. But watch, right away you see the break at first base by Enrique Wilson, and no chance. Roberto tries to short hop it, and he can't. But a good job by Shinjo and Timo Perez. They were both backing up.
So a wild pitch on what may well have been a split-fingered fastball.
And that's good managing there by Joe Torre, because you're not sure that Giambi would have taken off on that pitch that stayed in front of the plate.
Runner at second, nobody out. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Benitez looking back at Wilson, and he steps off the slide.
Well, I think this is a situation where you forget about Wilson and concentrate on Mondesi. Wilson's not going to steal third, 1 run down with no one out. He's going to wait and let Mondesi hit.
A ball and 2 strikes. The splitter lifted to left. Timo Perez. Wilson tagging up and bluffing.
Looked like he broke his bat.
The center fielder, number 55, Hideki Matsui.
Well, let's take a look at this last pitch. And that split the center of everything. He must have jammed himself or something, because he broke the bat. The ball was pretty much in the middle of the plate.
So Mondesi is out number 1. Here is Matsui. He got an infield hit in the 5th inning and scored the first Yankee run, and then he homered in the 7th inning against John Franco. Now he's facing the Heat. Way outside with a fastball. Now, when he homered against Franco, that marked only the 2nd time in the last 10 years that a left-handed hitter had homered against Franco. Bobby Abreu of the Phillies is the other. The right-handed batter, Todd Zeile, is on deck.
They do have Posada in the dugout if they would care to use him.
I would think they would care to use him at some point.
And they have Ruben Sierra as well.
3-0. Benitez opened the inning by walking Giambi, keeping the ball away from Giambi, but
well, that's Art Howe telling the catcher Vance Wilson that he thinks Matsui is swinging. I don't necessarily agree, but he might be right. You have to be ready for that.
And it's another 4-pitch walk. So the 2 left-handed hitters in the inning have drawn 4-pitch walks from the ultra-cautious Benitez. We want to remind you now that after the ball game, stay tuned for Sports Center. John Anderson and Scott Van Pelt are standing by, and they'll discuss fixing the Mets and also who is David Beckham and the Kyle family 1 year later. All on Sports Center. Stay tuned. So here is Zeile. He's going to be left up there to swing away. Zeile 0 for 3 against Benitez lifetime.
I am surprised at this.
Ruben Sierra has come out on deck. The splitter, a strike on the outside.
Well, I'm surprised he's letting him hit because you give Benitez some confidence because he's had trouble against these left-handed hitters. And now, he has a right-hander that he can face. I think that's, psychologically, this helps Benitez.
0-1 the count.
I don't know why he's so worried about the guy second base. Once you stop him, give your 100% concentration to the plate, because that's where the guy can hurt you. All you got to do is stop him at second base.
Benitez against Zeile, his old teammate. 2 men on, 1 man out. Fastball is too high. His first 10 games, he had 4 blown saves, but he'd been
none in the last 26 games. Earned 12 saves in that time. Pretty good.
A ball and a strike to Zeile. 3-2 Mets, 1 out. And that is too low. And Benitez is having a hard time throwing a strike.
Well, I think you hit it on the head when you said he's being careful. He was definitely being careful to all those left-handed hitters. Every pitch he missed with to the left-handed hitters were outside. Every one was away. Every pitch was away. I thought he'd feel better about pitching to a right-hander like Zeile. He threw a strike, and now he's missed trying to be perfect again.
Benitez, who will forever be remembered by Yankee fans for Game 1 of that 2000 World Series.
That's what you're supposed to do. Throw the fastball.
Shinjo has got a very strong arm. Wilson is going to take off the third. The throw cut off by Reyes. But they hold that runner at first base. Matsui. Zeile retired. 2 down. The possible tying run at third. And now the veteran Ruben Sierra is going to come up as a pinch hitter for Bubba Trammell.
Pinch hitting for the New York Yankees, number 24, Ruben Sierra.
Sierra has done a great job since coming to the Yankees. He's hitting .412 as a member of the Yankees in 34 at-bats with 2 homers and 4 doubles.
And he's a very good fastball hitter. And I have a feeling that, they're going to discuss this right now. There's a Vern rule going out. Anytime you have a guy with a high leg kick, he is a good fastball hitter. Joe McEwen of the Mets has that type of stride.
So they're having the discussion.
Well, you have to discuss a couple of things. You don't want to throw him a fastball in a certain zone. They're going to figure out where that zone is. The other thing they're discussing is you have to realize there's a run at third. You can't throw the splitter in the dirt. So how are you going to attack him? They want to have a game plan. Now, if they're going to go with the fastball, they want to know where that location is, whether I'm going to go up and in or whether I'm going to go away with it. And that's what they're trying to discuss. I think he has to go after him with this fastball and decide where his weakness is with the fastball, meaning up and in, inside part of the plate, away, or wherever they think his weakness is. That's what they have to do.
So the veteran Sierra to stand in. He's been around long enough that his next hit will be his 2000th lifetime hit. The Mets are leading the Yankees 3-2 in the 9th inning. But the Yankees have the possible tying run at third base with 2 down. The possible go-ahead run at first base. And the Mets are going to hold against Matsui at first. Phillips will play on the bag with it. So here we go. He tried the breaking ball and really missed badly with it.
Well, it was a hanging nothing pitch. If that ball's down, I mean, it looks like a mediocre fastball.
1 ball and no strikes. Ruben Sierra. He's had 2 career at-bats against Benitez and is 2 for 2 against him. 2-0. Sierra, 37 years old. Given a second chance with the Yankees. Over at third base, that is Wilson. At first base, Matsui. 3-2 Mets. Benitez 1 out away from a save. But he continues to have a hard time finding the strike zone.
Well, again, it's the left-handers. Everything is away. It's like he's zoned in out there to keep them in the ballpark. Every pitch to the left-handed hitters in this inning have been away and off the plate.
It's a 4-pitch walk. He's walked the bases loaded.
Well, and now you're going to see Posada. I mean, they looked over there. Flaherty was on deck, but they also have to remember that Posada was in the dugout.
And as soon as they saw him come out of the dugout, that brought a big response from the Yankee fans here at Shea Stadium. So Posada, who is having a very strong year for power. 15 homers, 45 driven in.
But if you're Vance Wilson, I think you have to call for a fastball inside because he's missing so far off the plate outside with the left-handed hitters that you're going to have to force him to get the ball over the plate.
Posada had been struggling lately. He is 1 for 5 lifetime against Benitez. The bases are loaded. 2 men down. The Mets lead by a run. Benitez has not retired a left-handed hitter in this inning, nor has he even thrown a strike to a left-handed hitter. 3 4-pitch walks to the 3 lefties who've come up. And now there's nowhere to put Posada.
Now let's see where the first target is.
One ball and no strikes. Again, he tried the breaking ball, and again, he missed too high with it. He hadn't thrown all that many strikes to the right-handed hitters in the inning, for that matter. That is a strike with the breaking ball. 1-1. Well, he's pitched around 3 of the lefties in the inning, but you can't pitch around all of them.
No.
He's finally found the one he can't pitch around. A ball and a strike. Strike 2. Fastball on the outside.
And, I mean, I don't understand why he's so afraid of the fastball and he has a good one. I mean, you have a good fastball.
1-2 to Posada. 2 down. Tried the splitter or the slider. Missed with it. 2-2.
That was a splitter. You're right. But it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. You tried to split it there to finish it. It didn't work. I think you have to go after it.
Time to go at number 1.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 3 men on. And he still would not go at the fastball.
And Art Howe's trying to give him encouragement. Pretty good eye here by Posada. You see that ball's pretty much off the plate.
So now Wilson at third, Matsui at second, Sierra at first. They'll all be running. The Mets lead by a run. 2 down. There they go. And he has walked in the tying run.
Well, I hope he's not reacting like he thinks this is a strike. Yeah, I guess he thought it was a strike. I don't know how.
Well, that fastball was just about like every other fastball he's thrown to a left-handed hitter in this inning. Outside.
Right.
Out of the strike zone. So now, Juan Rivera, the Yankees are all out of left-handed pinch hitters. Juan Rivera is going to pinch hit for Chris Hammond, the pitcher. Chris Hammond, I beg your pardon. And it is 3-3. Rivera hitting .235 for the year. I mean, he doesn't even. At some point, you might just have to say, Armando, you don't have a breaking ball tonight.
Well, yeah, but after he had 2 strikes on Posada, he should have gone after him with his fastball. He might have got Posada to chase it.
That's a strike on the outside. Mariano Rivera is up in the Yankee bullpen. 3-3. Armando Benitez, his first blown save since very early in the season. Graham Lloyd, meanwhile, a left-hander, is now up in the Mets bullpen. 3 men on. Right to Roberto Alomar. And the backhand feed to Reyes. And the Mets fans with a hostile reaction to their closer, Armando Benitez. It is 3-3 to the last of the ninth. Burnitz will come up. Mariano Rivera, the Yankee closer, comes on now. And his job is to preserve the tie. 3-3. Rivera, who spent a good part of the early season on the disabled list. A 1.69 earned run average. 20 strikeouts, 3 walks. He has walked fewer people for the season than Armando Benitez just walked in the 1 inning. Armando Benitez just walked as many people in an inning as David Wells has walked in 106 2/3 innings this year. Jorge Posada stays in to do the catching. Also staying in, Ruben Sierra, now the left fielder.
Number 20.
And staying in to play third base, Enrique Wilson, who pinch hit for Giambi. He scored the tying run eventually. And moving from third base over to first base is Todd Zeile.
Well, John, you talk about the walks. I do not think that he and the catcher worked very well that inning. You know, I mean, all the targets to the left-handed hitters were down and away. At some point, when you're missing badly off the plate outside, you have to bring him back to the plate. By that, I mean, I said you should give him an inside target at least once. And they never did. Everything was aimed at the outside edge. And he missed all the time.
Jeremy Burnitz against Rivera. And that cut fastball. But this one is a bloop in the left field for a base hit.
Well, he threw that cutter and he hit him on the fist. But that's made a little bit of the new Jeremy Burnitz. Not such a big swing. Watch, this is not the big swing we're used to. See that? He kind of fights that ball off the other way. I mean, that's a good swing. We always talk about how he never gets cheated and how he takes a big swing. Well, good job there just to put the ball in play, hit a little line drive.
So now Vance Wilson, the catcher, comes up. Burnett's the possible winning run on base. I mean, this seems like a sacrifice situation. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on how much. Well, you got Cedeno on deck to pinch hit for Shinjo, so I would say yes. I think he kind of tells you what they're going to do right there. If Shinjo was on deck, you say, well, maybe I don't want to butt him over for Shinjo. I might try hit and run or try something. But since they brought Cedeno out on deck, I think they're going to pinch. They're going to go ahead and bunt.
Third baseman Wilson playing shallow. Zeal on the bag with Burnett at first. Now the show of the bunt, and that is a powered up and caught easily by Zeal and foul ground.
Well, the one thing I said earlier in the game, if the guy squares around a bunch, you throw the ball up, because that's where you get the pop-ups. And immediately he throws the ball high and he pops it up. He gets what he wants.
Number 19, Roger Cedeno.
And watch. He sees the bunt. Where's this pitch? Up. What do? You pop it up. Good pitch there by Rivera. And you see, can't get the barrel of the bat above the ball. He tries, but he can't.
Now Cedeno, the pinch hitter for Tsuyoshi Shinjo in the last half of the ninth inning. Cedeno is switch hitter, will bat left-handed. 1 ball and no strikes. Cedeno hitting .253. 1 home run, 15 driven in. Burnett's the runner at first. Burnett's at one time was a very fast runner, but he has only 1 steal this year. 3-3. The Yankees have 3 different times fallen behind, only to come back and tie the game.
Man, he was looking for that cutter, and he just blew the fastball right by him.
Ball on a strike to Cedeno. Timo Perez, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. And Burnett's back to the bag.
And when you look at this lineup that the Yankees have on the field now, you realize why Joe Torre didn't pinch hit for Todd Zeal. He needed someone to play first base, and Todd Zeal was the guy.
Well, Torre has said before in these interleague games on the road for the Yankees where they can't use the DH, he said the place where the Yankees are at the disadvantage and any American League team, they're not built for this kind of a game. I mean, they have guys who are DHs, and you build the club a little bit differently with the DH in mind. The ground ball is foul. A ball and 2 strikes.
He has not had a good swing at Mariano Rivera. He has been late on every pitch.
Three to 3, last of the night. The Yankees received 4 walks in the first half of the inning. That's how they tied the game, without a hit. And Burnett's back to the bag. I mean, it was an amazing thing to see with Benitez facing 4 left-handed hitters, and he walked all 4 of them.
On almost identical pitches all the way.
He faced 3 right-handed hitters and retired all 3 of them. And back out of play, 1 ball, 2 strike. Benitez, lefties coming into this game, we're hitting .254 against him. I mean, that's not too bad. Right-handers were hitting .219 against him. Graham Lloyd, a lefty, up in the Mets bullpen. The Yankees would have the top of their order up if there is a 10th inning. This could be 2. Jeter to second, they get 1. Soriano too late to first. Just not hit quite hard enough for the speedy, or with the speedy Cedeno running to double him up. Jeter kind of waited for that ground ball as well.
Burnett sliding at second may have hurt his hand. Well, this ball might have had a little spin on it because the inside out of the ball. And you can see Jeter making sure. You make sure the first one. Now Burnett sliding there may have had his hand stepped on by Soriano because he was running off looking at his right hand. As you see clearly, he is safe at first base.
Timo Perez, the hitter. Now, Cedeno's a guy who could steal a base. But, I mean, if he tried to steal here and did not make it.
Let's take a look at this now. Watch. There you see he steps on his right hand when he comes down. And he has spikes on.
And again, Cedeno back to first.
Well, your point is if he gets thrown out with the pinch hitter hitting, then what happens? Well, although take a double switch.
Although Perez is not a pinch hitter.
Right.
He was already.
That's right. He's in the ninth slot.
Yeah. He came into the game in the top half of this inning with Benitez.
Slot.
Well, I like the idea of stealing them. That's a strike on the inside.
And that's a very good point.
You get Perez.
Perez, if leading off with Reyes to follow.
I mean, he's a leadoff type hitter.
Yeah, if it doesn't work. There's a cutter. Right on the acceptable line.
2 inches off the inside.
Man, they're all late. Everyone has been late on his fastball and his cut fastball.
Well, hitters say that, I mean, his motion is so compact and so fluid, it's always kind of a surprise when the ball gets there so quickly. 0-2 the count. There goes Cedeno, and the ball is fouled back and out of play. So on an 0-2 count, Cedeno took off. So if Art Howe had him running on 0-2, Joe, would you pitch out here?
No, I don't think they're going to pitch out. They may throw a fastball away. There's a cut fastball in again.
And back to the bag is Cedeno. Cedeno used to be a very prolific base stealer, but he has not been since returning to the Mets last year. This year he's only stolen 5 bases, been thrown out 6 times. 3-3, last of the 9th. 0-2 to Perez. There goes Cedeno. They pitch out. And the throw is right there waiting.
Well, that's not as bad as it looked if you're the Mets.
Guy was 0-2. He'll get to start over again in the 10th.
And he's already seen some pitches against Rivera.
On to the 10th we go.
Number 11, Joe McEwing.
Mets 3, Yankees 3. We go to the 10th inning. Subway Series round 2 for the 2003 season. The Yankees winner here Friday. A rain out yesterday. The Mets unable to hold a lead in the 9th inning in this one. Not Graham Lloyd. The veteran left-hander comes on from the Mets bullpen. The 5th pitcher of the game used by the Mets. Meanwhile, a new look in the outfield. Joe McEwing is now in left field. Timo Perez moves from left over to center field. And staying in the game to play right field, Roger Cedeno, who just was thrown out trying to steal a base. And here is Alfonso Soriano. He got jammed. Coming over Jason Phillips, the first baseman, but that's into the lower deck. Soriano's had 2 hits, 2 singles, and is 2 for 4 in the game. And is extremely dangerous. Got 19 home runs this year. Soriano, who has not hit well against left-handers, though. It's down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike, which, I mean, the right-handed hitter is supposed to hit the lefties, but he's hitting .226 against left-handed pitching. Graham Lloyd. A ball and a strike. And he missed with that curveball very badly. 2-1. Graham Lloyd, 36 years old. Australian born. And it is 3-1. Three to three. The Yankees only have 6 hits in this game. The Mets have 10 hits. That's a base hit. Hit number 7 for the Yankees. And 3 of those 7 hits off the bat of Alfonso Soriano.
Well, a good job of hitting there. He waited. He was pretty patient in that at bat for Soriano, and then he got a 3-1 pitch, and he hit a bullet through the infield.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
Well, you see the target. He hits the target, and Soriano smashes it in the hole.
Now, one thing the Yankees no longer have in this game is their slugger, Jason Giambi.
Right.
You got Jeter up now, but instead of Giambi behind him, you got Enrique Wilson, who came on as a pinch runner for Giambi in the 9th inning when the Yankees needed that tying run.
I don't think you'll see a bunt. You might see a hit and run, but Jeter squares around as if he's going to bunt.
The throw went to first, but Jeter had already squared around at the plate.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me.
Jeter has not had a sacrifice bunt this year.
Well, maybe he was tricking them.
I think he was trying to trick him.
Well, he squares around again.
Now, that I was only looking at him that time, Joe.
Yeah.
And he waited until Lloyd kicked and threw to first, and then he squared around. I think he's trying to
decoy, huh? Okay.
He's trying to deke him.
All right. Well, he said he saw the shortstop move. He told Lee Mazzilli he saw the shortstop move when he hit it in the hole. I think he was just joking with him, but
it was a good response though,
yes,
to
it was.
Mazzilli.
Yeah.
Mazzilli was kind of dogging him, saying that's why you got the hit. He said, well, that's why I hit it there.
He was.
See, he's not bunting.
Yeah.
That's a strike. Willie Randolph, the third base coach, flashing some signs to Jeter.
Well, that was a balk right there because he didn't even stop.
Ball and a strike to Jeter.
I mean, he just grabbed the ball, took his sign, and threw the home plate. He did not stop. So there was no way Soriano was going to steal that base. Now he stops.
That is just over it. The glove of Reyes, base hit. So Soriano and Jeter set things up, but not for Giambi now, but rather Enrique Wilson, who well might be bunting.
Well, I think he will, and that's. But these two guys do such a great job at the top of the order. Well, it's fastball right in the middle of the plate. And Jeter hits a line drive over the outstretched glove of Reyes.
All right, so now Wilson, veteran, hitting only 186. He's a switch hitter. But it seems to be a bunting situation. You got plenty of speed in the base paths here with Soriano at second, Jeter at first. Jason Giambi was lifted for the pinch runner Wilson back in the 9th inning. So now Jason is a fan. The Mets pulled into the corners. Wilson already showing bunt. Pulls back, and it's ball 1.
And Phillips at first base is just rushing in as if Wilson's going to bunt the ball down the third baseline, which he probably is. But, I mean, they could push anything past him the way he's charging from first base. He's actually charging towards the third base line. But now they're giving a signal there. They may be putting the rotation play on or something.
SportsCenter will follow the ball game. So stay tuned for that. If you've just tuned over, we'll have the whole day in sports, plus some informative things such as how to fix the Mets and who is David Beckham. And have you seen the movie Bend It Like Beckham? And why would Real Madrid pay all that money for Beckham? Jack Nicholson here tonight. Jack, I don't know if that's his son, but one of the a young man, and David Wells presented that baseball bat to Jack, who gave it to his young charge alongside. I wonder he's such a big Yankee fan. 2-0 to Enrique Wilson. 2 men on, nobody out. There go the runners. Hit and run action is on here, but a foul that will go out of play.
Man, I really like that. I think that was very, very timely on behalf of Joe Torre and the Yankees. I mean, they were overcharging, as I said, at first base with Phillips. So what do? They take off the third and second, and if he hits a ground ball, it's great. If he gets a base hit, whatever. That was a great play there. That'll change the way the Mets rotate here.
All right, but now they're going to bunt again, don't you think?
I would think so, because they're going to have more room to bunt now. I don't think they're going to overcharge as they were doing the 2 pitches before. But they may not bunt. See, the only reason I was thinking they may not bunt is, and the reason he wanted to do that there, because Mondesi's the hitter next hitter. And if they bunt him over, they're probably going to walk him to load the bases.
To set it up for Matsui.
Not that he doesn't have a lot of confidence in Matsui, because he does, but you don't want to lose a bat like Mondesi's.
I have a thought on that too.
But I think they will bunt. I mean, I think that's what they're going. Yeah, they would.
There's the bunt.
Perfect.
And look out, they might not get anybody. Here's the throw just in time. Lloyd,
nice
he thought the third baseman Wigginton was going to come in and field it, and Wigginton went back to third. Lloyd just did get Enrique Wilson.
Nice job by Graham Lloyd to make this play, because being left-handed, you know, he finally realizes that Wigginton wasn't coming in to get it, so he came in and got it. Excellent bunt by Enrique Wilson. Excellent play by Graham Lloyd.
Now, I have a theory, Joe, because you do have first base open now. The right-handed hitting slugger, Mondesi up. You got 13 homers.
Right.
And you got the lefty, Matsui. And here's the only thing about that. Matsui is the Yankees' leading hitter against left-handed pitching this year.
Well, I understand that, but how many times does he face Graham Lloyd would be the question. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind what I would do. I would walk the bases loaded and try to get a double play, because then you're getting out with one, maybe can get out with one pitch.
But I'm just saying, Torre, when he had the bunt executed there,
well,
thinking that this was likely, but he also knew Matsui's handled himself real well against lefties.
Well, one of the things he told us, you know, in the interview before the ball game is that this guy gets the job done when they have runners at third and less than 2 outs. He said whatever he gets the job done.
His only at bat tonight against the left-handed reliever John Franco, he homered, and no left-handed hitters homer against Franco. He doesn't need a homer now. A fly ball could do it. He got a real fast runner at third in Alfonso Soriano. This was back in the 7th against Franco. Matsui is hitting .295 for the year with runners in scoring position. And that's another area where the Yankees have not excelled. As a team, they've not hit all that well in these kinds of situations. The middle infield looking for the double play ball here. The first baseman, Phillips, is in on the edge of the grass. 1 man out. This could be 2. Allen on the second one. Reyes to first. Double play. The save is retired.
Perfect feed, perfect throw. I mean, that's textbook.
It wasn't a bad scenario.
No, it's not bad. I think that, you know, it's something that you go ahead and do, because there were 2 strikes on Perez, and again, now he in effect gets 2 at-bats against Rivera, and no one else gets that during the course of the season.
Timo Perez. He had a role in that 2000 World Series in that first game that may take him a while to live down. He did not run on what proved to be a double by Todd Zeile. A drag bunt attempt, but right back to Rivera. So much for all that knowledge he gained against Rivera.
Well, you know, one of the things when you're going to drag the ball, you have to realize what the pitcher does. And Rivera falls to the first base side. Now watch where Rivera's falling. He is falling to the first base side, so it's very easy for him to get over there. So you have to make a perfect bunt if you're going to bunt.
Now,
I don't think it was a bad idea. You just have to execute it perfectly.
Here's Jose Reyes, switch hitter, batting right-handed, his stronger side. And that's a ball inside. Third baseman Enrique Wilson is not only guarding the foul line, but he's also playing very shallow for the young Reyes.
It's interesting. It's one of the things that, you know, Bobby talked to us about. Not, you know, using him as a switch hitter. But there are a lot of people who feel that a right-handed hitter has a better chance against Rivera because of his cutter. I'm not one of those people. I don't think that you have an advantage right-handed hitting against Mariano Rivera.
I remember in '98 World Series, they were so dominated by Mariano that the Padres were putting up right-handed hitters as pinch hitters again.
Exactly, and they're all made outs too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think you're better off.
Reyes thrown out there by
The second baseman,
Derek Jeter.
number 12.
2 men down, and now Roberto Alomar will come up.
Well, he jams all the left-handers. He throws it by some, but I mean, he jams them, and I mean, that's what he does. But at least you know what's going on. If you're the right side, that ball's moving away from you. And I've always believed it's easier to hit a ball coming towards you than one that's moving away.
Roger Cedeno, as we looked back in the 9th inning. Roberto Alomar taking his stride.
You don't see Roberto jumping over there on the right side. I mean, he's a switch hitter as well, but I mean, he'd rather hit left-handed anyway at this point.
Right on the outside corner, strike 2 call.
Well, you see he's pitching to a guy who's a veteran now, and Roberto Alomar knows that he throws the cutter, so he's looking cutter inside, so what does he do? Throw 2 fastballs away. And he knows who he's pitching against. I mean, the young guys, he's going to go ahead and jam them, throw the hard cutter, but with Alomar, he's going to mix it up.
Just off the outside.
I don't know how you can take that one. But I guess he was still looking for that cutter inside. Just off the plate.
I mean, that had a little cutting action coming back, didn't it? 1 and 2.
There it is. That's the one that he was looking for.
Yellow. Yeah, be careful what you look for.
Yeah, exactly. I have to tell you, I mean, if you fall behind Rivera with 2 fastballs away, and there's that cutter way inside, I mean, that's tough. See, it starts in the middle, and Roberto just able to get his hands out of the way.
2 and 2 to Roberto Alomar. Struck him out. A very quick, quiet 10th inning for the Mets. Now to the 11th inning. Todd Zeile, Ruben Sierra, Jorge Posada due up. Sunday night baseball from Shea Stadium, New York, the Subway Series, and it's this particular edition of it isn't over just yet. SportsCenter coming up right after the ball game. John Anderson, Scott Van Pelt, they are standing by. They got their seatbelts on, and they are ready to roll as soon as this ball game is over. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget tomorrow night, more baseball on ESPN, and this one on our sister ESPN 2, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Oakland Athletics with Cy Young winner Barry Zito up against the Texas Rangers against A-Rod, Rafael Palmeiro and company from the ballpark in Arlington. That's tomorrow, 7 Eastern. Strike 1 from Graham Lloyd to Todd Zeile, and he tries to backdoor him with a curveball and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it's interesting, Joe, with hindsight. I mean, we had the Mets failing to get a bunt down that cost them in the 9th inning with Rivera on the mound. Then in the 10th inning, we had the Yankees getting the bunt down, and in a way, it cost them.
Right, exactly. Because they took the bat out of Mondesi's hands, and they got the double play from Matsui.
Zeile 1 for 3 with a walk in this game. That's a strike on the inside. Zeile didn't like to call it, I don't think. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is the 11th inning now. Ruben Sierra is on deck. Jorge Posada due up 3rd in the inning. Next weekend, these 2 teams reconvene in the Bronx, at least for most of the weekend. Next Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday night in the Bronx. We'll be in the Bronx next Sunday at 8 Eastern. But also, they'll play a night game next Saturday night back here at Shea. The second half of a day-night 2-stadium doubleheader. Zeal leads off the inning with a walk. That is the 6th walk in these last 3 innings issued by the Mets bullpen. 4 of them in the 9th inning by Armando Benitez, which is how the Yankees scored the tying run of the game without getting a hit. Of course, they might have gotten a couple of hits if he'd ever thrown a strike to any of those left-handed hitters.
Correct, but you'd like to try to find out.
It's not like they had much of a chance to get a hit.
If you're Art Howe, you would like to make them swing the bat.
Ruben Sierra. And that is a little bloop for a base hit to left. Zeal turns second, and he'll hold there. The ball retrieved in shallow left field by Mick Ewing. So 2 men on again with nobody out, and here is Posada. That's the 2000th career hit for Ruben Sierra.
And that's quite an accomplishment for Ruben, especially because he was out of the game for a while. And now he has 2,000 base hits.
I don't see Posada bunting.
Well, I don't either, but this is a situation, if you're Joe Torre, I mean, you're saying that I need to win this ball game. And you never know. I mean,
but now the pitcher's due up next.
Yeah, but Posada has sit over there for a long period of time. They've got someone warming in the bullpen.
But they've only got 1 non-pitcher still available in their dugout, and that's Charles Gibson.
Right.
I mean, I want Posada swinging.
Well, I'm sure that Joe does too, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
This should be a double play. Reyes. Oh, and he boots it. And Zeal's going to stop at third.
Nice play there by Roberto Alomar to get out there quickly and pick the ball up. What you're going to see here is that Reyes was looking at second base. He was getting ready to start the double play, and he looked up, and the ball went beneath his glove.
An error on Reyes, an error on a possible double play ball.
Well, watch. Well, no, he looked towards his glove. He did not turn away. I thought I saw his head look towards second base. He just missed it. But look at Roberto Alomar. He hustles out there. That saves the run. Well, he just missed the ball. But see, Alomar chases it down, and that saves the run right there. If he doesn't hustle to get that ball, by the time an outfielder would have gotten there, they would have been able to score Todd Zeal from third base.
I mean, Zeal was running hard, and he came hard around third base as if intending to score, only at that point then to be stopped by Alomar when Alomar saw that, Willie Randolph, when he saw that Alomar had the ball. So the bases are loaded for Charles Gibson. He is the pinch hitter. The infield is in, and that's ball 1.
Well, you had to, John, I was thinking you were going to have to pinch hit for Rivera anyway. You don't want him going more than 2 innings anyway. I mean, that's if you're Joe Torre.
I'm just saying, if Posada had given away his at-bat, for Gibson, I didn't see that.
No, I agree with you.
1 ball, no strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Gibson, the last non-pitcher off the Yankees bench. He's had 2 hits in 10 at-bats for the Yankees this year.
And of course, the Mets are going to play the infield in. They're coming to the plate with any ground ball on the infield.
It is 3-3. Nobody out. That's a foul on a slider. Pretty good slider. 1-2. Alfonso Soriano's on deck. The Mets bullpen has some action going. One ball, 2 strikes. And did he hit him?
No.
Wow. I don't know how he missed him.
That's a high wire act right there. I don't know how he missed him either.
And I don't know how Vance Wilson caught that ball.
Good point. That's even more of a mystery.
Man.
I mean, that ball went right underneath his legs, it appears, from up here. And it does, and he did catch it. I mean, that's a great play there by Wilson. And a good play by Gibson to get out of the way.
2-2. swing. Full count now, 3-2. Lee Mazzilli wearing a microphone in the first base coach's box. Listen to it.
How did he get away out of that? How did he catch it?
Well, that's what we ask up here.
Yeah. I'm not even sure Wilson knows. Well, that's a full count. 3-2. And he has walked in the run. The Mets bullpen, having walked in the tying run in the 9th inning, has walked in the go-ahead run in the 11th inning. The Mets have been self-destructing in this one. Plus, there are still no outs in this inning. The Yankees now set up for a very big inning with the top of the order coming up. They've got Wheeler, Dan Wheeler, a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, and Art Howe is heading out. Looks like Wheeler's going to get the call here. 4-3. The Yankees have gone ahead. They have received 7 walks in the last 3 innings of this game. 2 of them came with the bases loaded. And this was the latest, and that's an RBI for Charles Gibson. Soriano coming up, still nobody out with the bases loaded. Still lives in Rhode Island in the offseason. He's had previous big league experience with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He inherits 3 base runners with nobody out, and Alfonso Soriano at the plate, and a foul ball. Soriano's had 3 hits in 5 at-bats, 3 singles. 4-3. The Yankees are leading. There is Ruben Sierra at third, Jorge Posada at second, and Charles Gibson at first. Knocked down by Wigginton. He's still got time for a force out at third, and he gets it. But scoring is Sierra. Posada forced out. Gibson over to second. Soriano safe at first, and he will get a run batted in. 5-3 Yankees.
Shortstop, number 2.
Well, he hits it pretty
Jeter.
hard down the third baseline. And you see Wigginton goes down to block it, which he's supposed to do. He keeps it on the infield. And as you mentioned, he has a chance to go to third base and tag and get Posada. Well, he's just fighting that ball, trying to smother it, which is what he's supposed to do, and he gets the job done.
Not Derek Jeter. The middle infield will play for the double play. And that is a called strike. Jeter has had 2 hits, 2 for 5. 5-3. The Yankees are leading here in the 11th inning. Dan Wheeler in his 2nd game of the year for the Mets. On the outside corner at the knee. Strike 2.
Well, he's throwing strikes.
It's kind of refreshing. Now the Mets will get their last shot in the last half of this inning. But Mariano Rivera will no longer be around. And they've got the runner picked off at second, and
I hope that's not Charles Gibson.
Gibson is out. Yeah. So Gibson, he started to take off, and belatedly, Wheeler heard about it and just did get him at second base.
I think we're bad luck for Charles Gibson. I mean, we get him picked off every game we do. I mean, he came in a pinch run. He was the last out last game we did with the Yankees, and he gets picked off again.
All right, I'm willing to take the blame for him.
Yeah, you're the bad luck piece for Gibson. But I have to tell you, in talking to Joe Torre today in an interview, one of the things he told me about baseball in general, he wasn't talking about his team specifically. He said bad base running and poor base running is something that he sees every day all over the league. He said that's something that he sees. We didn't get a chance to give you that interview today, but that's one of the things that he told us.
Well, we still have next Sunday.
Okay.
We'll be back here in New York for more Yankees and Mets. This time for the big ballpark in the Bronx next Sunday night. So Gibson, where do you think Gibson was going on that play? I mean, the pitcher was still standing there holding the ball.
I think he was timing it, and maybe Wheeler changed his rhythm that one time.
So Wheeler tricked him.
Yeah, he may have been timing. He was probably coming set 1, 2, throw, 1, 2, throw. And so he counted the same way on that particular play, 1, 2, and he took off. And Wheeler turned and threw.
So he got the timing right. It's just where Wheeler threw that got it. Inside, 2-2 now to Jeter.
Well, Jeter was hit on the wrist in yesterday's ball game that was not completed. And this almost gets him again. So he kind of dives in and he has trouble getting out of the way. Once you go in, it's hard to come back out.
2-2 to Jeter, 2 down. Soriano at first. Jeter's been hit by pitches 65 times in his career and only failed to start the next day's game twice. There goes Soriano. And Wilson's throw not in time. Curveball and the 20th steal of the year for Soriano.
I want to watch Jeter on this particular pitch. He almost gets hit. And I wanted to see where he ended up, his location. Well, he starts way over here. Let's see where he ends up. He doesn't move in very much. The ball's right there.
3-2 to Jeter. Now Soriano in scoring position. Jeter drives one foul down the right field line. Jeter, the 2 times he got hit by pitches and had to miss the next day's game, he was hit on the left wrist or the forearm. One in 1997 by Detroit's Doug Brocail, and one in 1999 by Seattle, then with Seattle, Jose Paniagua got it. And that's ball 4 to Jeter. Another walk. That's the 8th walk received by the Yankees in the last 3 innings. The Yankees bullpen, they've used Hammond. He pitched the 8th inning. And Mariano Rivera pitched the 9th and 10th innings, and that's what they have left of the bullpen. Antonio Osuna is on the disabled list right now. Hard-throwing right-hander. Steve Carsey has been on the disabled list all year long. Is going to miss the year. That ball is driven down the right field line by Wilson. That's a fair ball. It hit the wall. Soriano scores. Jeter being waved home. Here's the relay, and he scores. The ball off the catcher and over to third base goes Enrique Wilson. And the Yankees have started to break it open now. A 4-run 11th inning. It is 7-3 Yankees. The first time they've actually had a hit to knock in a run in these last 3 innings.
Well, Enrique Wilson hits this ball awfully hard. It's low and in. He turns on it, and I mean, it hits the bottom of the wall. I mean, that was a line drive off the wall down the right field line. And Joe says yes.
Now Mondesi, Wigginton picks it up. Mondesi is thrown out. Mondesi 0 for 5, but a 4-run rally, and the Yankees lead 7-3. And Jason Anderson's going to come in. Sunday Night Baseball from New York. The Yankees are now leading the Mets 7-3 here in the 11th inning. Now stay tuned. As soon as the ball game's over, SportsCenter will hit the air with John Anderson and Scott Van Pelt. How to fix the Mets. Throw a strike. Try that. 8 walks in these last 3 innings. And David Beckham. There's a movie about his name. And he is huge around the world. One of the great soccer players in the world.
I was going to say, looks like you know who David Beckham is.
I know who he is.
Yeah. He married one of the Spice Girls, man.
If you watch SportsCenter, you too will know. Then tomorrow, Stanford and Rice for the College World Series championship on ESPN 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Stanford won today 8-3 to set up the final tomorrow night. Now Jason Alexander on the pitch. Alexander?
I was going to say, you're like Joe Torre.
This is the former co-star of the Seinfeld show. That's a called strike now to Ty Wigginton. Jason Anderson, out of a former member of the Fighting Illini out of Illinois University. Ty Wigginton, the hitter. He is 2 for 4 in the game. By the way, Jeremy Burnett's left the ball game after the 9th inning, and we were told he suffered a laceration of his right hand and was taken for some precautionary x-rays on that hand. Remember, he got stepped on a play at second base after he got forced out in the 9th inning.
Soriano, in his follow-through, stepped on his right hand as he slid past him.
Jason Anderson, the Yankee pitcher, 24 years old. It's a high pop fly. And Mondesi takes charge on that one. Matsui got out of his way. And this is the play where Burnett's got in.
Well, watch his right hand as it hits the ground. Soriano's in the air. Now he comes down and he steps on his right hand right about there. As you can see, steps on his fingers.
I believe a laceration of the ring finger on his right hand. Joe McEwing, who entered the game in the cleanup spot when he came in, along with Graham Lloyd, to start the 10th inning. And he is hitting here in the spot formerly occupied by Cliff Floyd. Floyd left the game when they made a double switch to bring Armando Benitez in. 0-2 to McEwing. McEwing is hitting .221 for the year. Jason Phillips on deck. So the Mets already playing without their great slugger Mike Piazza, and the two real genuine home run threats they had in the lineup tonight were Floyd and Burnett, and neither one of those are in the lineup now. And so it goes for the Mets in the 2003 season. Mets bullpen got beat up tonight. 5 innings pitched, 4 runs, 6 hits. I beg your pardon, 6 runs on 4 hits. 3 of the runs earned. 8 walks. And all those walks came in the last 3 innings. Benitez walked 4 in the 9th, including a bases loaded walk to knock in the tying run. Graham Lloyd walked 1 in the 10th intentionally, and then a couple more in the 11th inning, 1 that forced in a run. A pop-up foul. Two and 2 the count to McEwing. I mean, the Mets have really just kind of self-destructed these last 3 innings.
Yes, they did. Well, the pitching self-destructed. I mean, and the fact that they did not throw strikes.
And then in the last of the ninth, after the game was tied, they did get a bunt down. Strike 3. McEwing is gone. Jason Anderson with 2 down and nobody on.
Well, he throws hard and the ball has some movement. There's a fastball away and it runs off the outside corner. And he gets McEwing to chase it with 2 strikes.
So that leaves it to Jason Phillips. Jay Bell has come out in the on-deck circle. So young Jason Anderson trying to rack this one up. Not a safe situation for him. That's a called strike. He throws pretty hard. 95-mile-an-hour fastball right there.
Well, Joe Torre said before the game that he really likes him. As soon as he feels comfortable here, he's going to make a real contribution to this bullpen.
Mariano Rivera tonight, 2 innings pitched. I mean, you usually see Rivera. I mean, occasionally in the regular season they'll go more than 1 inning. But those 2-inning outings are usually reserved for the postseason.
He'll also get a win tonight if Anderson, I'm sorry, is able to close it out.
That And there's a base hit on a slider. Phillips went down to get it for his 4th hit of the night. So the Mets, we've got, as you saw, have that bullpen getting ready just in case it's a 12th inning. They'll be ready. Now Jay Bell, the pinch hitter for Dan Wheeler. Jay Bell hitting 192. Jay Bell, who played in that World Series 2 years ago against the Yankees for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fastball to strike.
And that's a good fastball, John. That's got some movement on it. I see why Joe Torre is excited about him.
I guess we'll be a little more excited when we can start remembering what his name is.
Well, once we see him a few times.
Jay Bell, by the way, becomes the 36th player to be used in this game by the two managers. Jason Anderson. And there's a fly ball to center. Matsui. From Shea Stadium, sayonara. The Yankees have beaten the Mets. They sweep the two who played this weekend at Shea. They'll reconvene next weekend at Yankee Stadium. We'll see you next Sunday night. 7-3 the final. Stay tuned. SportsCenter coming up next for Joe Morgan and our entire ESPN crew. I'm John Miller. Good night.
Kevin Brown trying to get his 10th consecutive victory as the Dodgers try to sweep the series. You see what he's done in his last 10 starts. Virtually unhittable. 9-0 in ERA, minuscule 1.27. And in the first, wheeling, dealing. And everybody's got a funny feeling. Jeff Devannon, Scott Spezio gets the gas face. Get out. 4th inning, 2 on. Nobody outs. It's a full count. Adam Kennedy, who broke out of a miserable 1-for-25 slump in this series, went 3-for-4 on the day, brings in Brad Fulmer to score. It's 2-1 Anaheim. Another full count, 2 on, 2 out. Jeff Devannon to right. 8th hit given up in the ball game by Brown, who often goes out there with no-hit stuff. 3-1 Anaheim. Later in the inning, bases drunk full of Angels. Garrett Anderson can't catch up with a high fastball. 49 pitches in the inning for Brown. He gave up a season-high 10 hits in 5 innings. Bottom 7, Brendan Donnelly on. Paul LaDuca. Whee! Devannon can't quite get it. LaDuca giving a triple there. LaDuca 3-for-4. Dodgers trim the lead to 4-3. Devannon sufficiently shamed after that. Didn't quite work out. Top 9, 1 on, 1 out, and Garrett Anderson knows you got to keep your pimp hand strong. He busts out a 2-run homer off of Paul Shuey. Anderson's 11th in June, 18th of the season, 5th in the last 9 games. Brown, first loss in 10 decisions. Every position player for Anaheim had a hit in this one.
Giants ace, San Francisco working on their half of the NL West tie. Barry Bonds, 6 home runs last 12 games. We flash back to June 8, 2002 when he got up against Ted Lilly at Yankee Stadium. That's just silly long. Short porch or not, he could have reached about anything. Back to Sunday, and in the first, the shift is on, facing Lilly again, and we're going to call that a victory for Lilly. He kept him in the yard. Oh, sure, it's a single. Sure, Marquise Grissom scored, and the Giants lead 1-0, but he wasn't embarrassed. Oh, Bonds is going. Tried to pick him off too late. 6th stolen base of the year, number 499 of his career. Sneaking up on 500. Sneak up on this. Miguel Tejada, a 3-run shot to tie things up at 5. Miggy now with 49 RBIs. Chad Zerbian to replace Jesse Faubert. First batter, Rubio Durazo on the 3rd pitch, and yep, we're going to need a new baseball. His 9th home run, feasting on that. A's lead at 6-5. Top 9, Giants still down 1. Keith Folk on. Grissom goes down looking. 2nd out of the inning. So we got 2 out, none on. We got Barry Bonds, and Ken Marcus says, yeah, give me 4 wide. And so Bonds intentionally walked for the 2nd time in this game. 33 on the season. Andres Galarraga going the other way. Too far the other way. Foul ground. Singleton hauls it in. Mock and the A's take it 6-5. They take 2 of 3 in the series. 55,413 saw it. NL West still deadlocked.
Yanks have won 7 of 8, haven't surrendered a run in 23 innings. David Wells before the game with a bat for Jack Nicholson. New York or L.A., the guy gets good seats. Hey, Wells and Glavine in a game for only the 2nd time. They met up in 92. Both had mullets. Glavine, a complete game 4-hitter. Cliff Lloyd, bottom 2. That's a great pitch. But me to poop on. He crushes his 14th to dead center field. Mets up. Bob Marley, 1 love. Still in the 2nd, Wells recovers. Sits down Shinjo, which is difficult to say without cussing. Top 4, Glavine pitching well. In the rain at Shea. What else is new? Sits down Giambi with a nasty change. Top 6, Glavine in trouble. Bet, bases loaded. Mondesi goes 6-3 DP. That was it for Glavine. Mets up 1. Top 7, still 2-1. Gianfranco to Matsui. Only the second lefty in 10 years to take Franco out of the yard. Game is tied at deuces. Bottom 8, 2 on, 2 out, full count. Jason Phillips, dribbler the other way. Off of Chris Hammond. Alomar comes in from second to score Wigginton. Ty Wigginton caught in a rundown. Eventually he was out. Eventually being the key there. Eventually. But that's all right. The Mets are up 3-2. Mets are up 3-2. Ninth inning, here we go. Armando Benitez in to shut the door and send everybody home happy. Ball 4, Jason Giambi. Ball 4, Matsui. Ruben Sierra up high, ball 4. Walks the bases loaded. Art Howe, little freaked out. But hey, Armando hasn't blown a save since April. All right, he's about to. Full count to Jorge Posada up high. And Mets had 3 leads. The Yankees came back and tied it up 3 different times. Armando, whoa. Top 10, still tied. Bases loaded for Matsui. Graham Lloyd got into trouble, but then we go 4-6-3, just like that, thread over. Okay, Graham Lloyd still in, top 11. Jorge Posada. Ground ball, Reyes, the new kid. Uh-oh. Boots the potential double play ball. Bases now loaded. And, oh boy, you remember this same movie. Lloyd walks Charles Gibson. 8 walks in the final 3 innings pitched. The Yankees go on to win it 7-3.
More same city stuff. Sox a chance to sweep the Cubbies right back to Wrigley. Bottom 3rd, scoreless, 2 on. Bartolo Colon. Oh, Sammy Sosa watches it, then walks away. Colon 7 innings, 0 runs, 5 Ks. Top 5 still scoreless. Carlos Zambrano strikes at Carlos Lee. Zambrano is
whoa, settle down, young fella.
Top 8, Jerry Manuel going to go to the pen. Brings in Damaso Marte. Colon, the hook. 3 hits, no runs, 7 innings. All right, we flash back to Saturday when the Cubs third base coach Wendell Kim nearly tore his labrum and rotator cuff trying to get Mark Grudzielanek or Damian Miller in to score. Oh boy, that was horrible. I got ahead of myself because now Kim's at it again. Ramon Martinez shot to left. Kim says Grudzielanek, and again, arm just hanging there. He's just windmilling. Fans are just getting blown away. And this time he is redeemed. A terrific slide by Grudzielanek to get in there. Well done. Next batter, Corey Patterson. Little bingo.
Send him.
Martinez scores standing up. Cubs go on to win by a count of 2-1.
Cards looking to win 5 of 6 and keep pace with the Cubbies, but of far more significance early on. A moment of silence, a year anniversary since Darryl Kyle left us all too soon. Back to the baseball. Top 5 tied at 1s. Aaron Guile double to right brings home Ken Harvey. Harvey had a big series, went 6 for 13. Royals up 2-1. Mike DeFelice then tags one to center. That brings in Guile, and it's 3-1 Royals. This team's not going away. They started off so well, folded for a bit, but they're still playing pretty good baseball. Hey, Jeremy Affeldt gets on top of a fastball, brings home DeFelice. It's 4-1 Royals, and Stevenson had allowed only 1 hit through 4 innings, but what do we have here? 3 RBI hits, all high fastballs. 4 hits in the 5th. Arusa grows weary. Bottom 9, 5-2 Royals. Albert Pujols is flat out the nastiest hitter in baseball. Oh! Mike McDougal treats him like a little leaguer. Knee literally buckling as Uncle Chucky. That is just filthy. McDougal gets his 16th save, and Pujols had 3 hits in the game, but couldn't get one there, and the Royals win it 5-2.
Astros, Rangers, big game in Texas and the White House. Joaquin Benoit on the hill for Texas does pretty well there at the ballpark in Arlington. 2-0 at home. 5-2 in his career at home. So it doesn't matter. You take his career as a whole or just the season, he's doing well. Gets Blum, gets Berkman, gets Richard Hidalgo. Striking out the side there. We go top 6. Berkman facing Benoit. And, you know, you can't keep a Rice Owl down for long. His 13th home run, upper deck stuff, score tied at 1. And Jose Vizcaíno's up. Ropes that to center. Hidalgo had doubled. He's going to roll on to score, and Vizcaíno going to keep turning left till he gets to third with a triple. Astros go up 2-1. Bottom 7, Todd Green, 3-1. Counts 0-2. Curtis Sarlus hits him. Take your base. Now, Jimmy Williams says, I think he went around. He should be out. We look at it again. Green, yeah. We make the first base ump says, that's a swing. You're out. Buck Showalter comes up to argue to no avail. You're out. Top 8. Alex Rodriguez facing Octavio Dotel, and he popped it up really high. Call it. Good. Got it. Houston's pen. No runs allowed in 3 1/3. They sweep the Rangers 3-1. 3 days rest for the first time in his career. There you see him. Top 1, no score. Livan Hernandez, the opposite pitch. Oh, he just got treated poorly by Vernon Wells. Get out! And he did. His 3rd homer of the series, 19th of the year, 2-0 Jays. So Halladay staked to an early lead. He'd give up a run in the first on a hit and an error, but then cruising along. Henry Mateo, oh, Uncle Charlie. Hernandez, no. Still bottom 3rd, Jamie Carroll. He's just looking at the hook. 96 pitches for Halladay, 76 of them were strikes. Bottom 6, 4-1 Halladay. Little infield practice. I got it. That's from Jose Macias. Nice play. He retired 16 in a row at one point. We go to the 9th. Still 4-1 Jays, but Tosca going to come get his man after 8 1/3, 2 runs, none earned, 4 hits. We'll get them last 2. We'll get the last 2 for you there. It's all right. Tosca brings in Cliff Polite, who on Saturday night, well, had a Polite meltdown against Orlando Cabrera in a tie game in the 8th. That is deep. Expos win that one 8-5, and hence Halladay's, well, apprehension of watching this back to Sunday. Bottom 9, Cabrera again with a couple aboard. Well, that'll stay in the front. But sac fly run scores 4-2. Halladay watching the lead dwindle. Next batter, Brad Wilkinson. So technically, he's your tying run against Polite. Does that have enough?